Oh, welcome internet.
Sorry, you caught me singing the Dad's Army theme tune there. I do apologise. I just randomly break into the Dad's Army theme tune every now and then.
There's no shame in it.
No, of course not.
Jackie Boy, Mr. Nut. Hello.
Of course.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen. I almost wonder if you guys actually stay in the chat room. we're always fortunate and glad to have your company.
It's just haunted and they're the ghosts.
Well, this is good. We've not done. When was the last time we did one?
It's been like 2 months. Probably,
yeah, no, we went from actually being
years,
semi-regular,
decades.
like my bowel movements, to actually.
We've been constipated. We've been ghastly constipated.
I'm getting married.
Don't blame us.
That's taken up all my time. Never, ever.
Well, that's killed it stone dead. Marriage.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, beautiful thing.
Beautiful union. There's no really any need for that kitchen door to be open.
I thought you were going to say marriage. I was meant to.
There's every need for it. Yeah. There's every need for it. So what are we doing tonight, gentlemen? We've got some things lined up, I believe. Since I'm not really on the ball.
Usual. We've kind of.
No, we do have.
We do. No,
I know.
We do. We have.
Well, listen, don't hang about
activities.
for too long, guys. It's not going to be very good.
Guys, waste your time, guys. Waste absolute shite. Absolutely terrible. Fortunately, it doesn't tell us the number of viewers anymore, which is probably less depressing.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know why. It used to always do that, but
you maybe need to scroll down a little bit, or maybe it's just not updated yet.
Oh no, one way.
Even though there's clearly two.
Congrats to you.
Thanks, Chris.
Congrats on finding someone willing to say yes.
Thank you.
I mean, it's about time. Come on, the wedding's kind of looming now.
Time
for people to
know.
And giving Michael away, me and Martin both received a horse and a sizable piece of land. So we got a fine dowry.
So what you're saying is you walk me down the aisle.
I'd do it.
Either side of me, carrying me.
You tap that, would you?
Oh God. Anyway.
Oh look, there's somebody else.
Hello,
Serene.
Good evening.
We've not seen you on here before, so.
Right.
Welcome.
Get out! This is for regulars, don't you know?
So I have something here, gentlemen.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. This little post-it is my research for this evening.
It's better than mine. Mine's on my phone.
It's
It
good.
says by prophylactics.
Or
sheaths.
Oh shit. No. That's just because we're going to discuss some urban myths and some spooky things.
Yeah, spooky things. We did it last time and it was quite successful, I think.
I researched a whole list off of a number of websites. So what are we doing first?
Well, can we do one of the Mad Libs first? I've got one queued up. For those of you guys that tuned in last time, you'll remember we used a pretty hilarious automatic story generator. And it was fucking tits. It was great, wasn't it? It was good. So what I'm going to need to do, talk
amongst
yourself.
It's a generation thing for me. Tits meant something shit.
Tell what's that one you've got for beautiful?
Frightening.
Listen to this shit.
Yeah. Like I'll say she's frightening, and that means she's really good.
Yeah.
Something it's like frightening is like frighteningly good.
Yeah. Like Wicked.
Yeah.
That's Wicked.
Oh, I don't say Wicked. I have to.
That's Sorry, well, I had a temporary loss in audio there. Sorry about that.
That's alright. We weren't talking about anything important. But like Wicked obviously initially meant something bad. It
very
should
quickly
mean something
changed.
good, and now it's bad again. But for
It's a blue drink.
Yes.
The teenagers drink.
Exactly.
No, it's just fucking bad because it's cringeworthy when your dad fucking goes. It's
says,
Wicked,
"Hey guys, this is
it's
Wicked.
Am I down with the homies?"
It's not 1992 anymore.
What's this for? Alright,
Well,
okay.
I still
That's
say
why that's
awesome.
for.
I get in trouble for saying awesome. I say awesome quite a lot. I don't know, but apparently it's bad.
What's right with it?
I think awesome's pretty tubular.
Let me see. Right, so for example, this is a kind of classic example of the thing we did last time. You've got to fill various different things in. You've got adjectives, like for example, we've got two characters here, and you've got to like describe your relationship between the two characters. Violently romantic. You put in the jobs. We've got civil servant, civil engineer, and arms dealer.
Before we do this, should we get the viewers to suggest?
Yes. No, because that'll take forever.
Yes.
We've already got this one made. We've got this one made up as an example.
It's not going to be funny.
Part of the fun is everyone coming up with
doing it together.
No, but last time we had a pre-made example to show everyone how it works. This one's pre-made to go up and show how to do it.
I'm not.
Okay, but it's just we're just gonna get a punchline without a setup here.
Without getting involved in it. So you've actually taken away what's fun about Mad Libs.
Fucking
You've managed to make something fun, not fun, Callum. Well done. Well done. You've made fun no longer fun.
No fun for anyone. Alright, thanks. Well, okay.
Is this because you sat there for ages working out to put in the name Randy McNobb?
No, I didn't.
It is, isn't it?
No, it's
you
not.
thought you'd been very clever and very funny.
It is quite funny.
Right, let's see it. Who wants to read it?
I'll let Michael read it, right? We should maybe just cut to the full thing so that everyone can see it larger.
The Curse of the Useful Tent Peg, a horror story by Randy McNobb. Whilst investigating the death of a local arms dealer, a randy civil servant called Sam Spade uncovers a legend about a supernaturally cursed useful tent peg circulating throughout Peru. It's not capitalised. As soon as anyone uses the tent peg, he or she has exactly 42 days left to live. See, it's not funny because you've taken away the option.
Right.
You've taken away the option of people who add and things.
Well, you're killing
The
it.
doomed few appear to be ordinary people during day-to-day life.
See.
But when photographed, they look wasted.
This is funny to you because you take.
I know, that's it.
You're saying you're pissing yourself laughing. You're like,
I know. You've totally.
Well, that's fine.
Do you understand how Mad Lib works?
Yes, but last time we used the exact same thing. Right, we might as well finish the sentence and then we can.
Randy dog to touch. There you go.
Alright, okay. Thanks for killing that, Michael.
Martin's in agreement with me though.
I'm in agreement.
Mom,
I think last time we ran through the options, even though we pre-filled them, we went
I did
through
try
and
to
said-
run through some of them. Right.
I do like the civil engineer called Lovely
Generate
Chairs.
another one then.
Oh,
Callum's left now. Sorry,
She's
Callum.
away.
Come back,
She's away.
Callum. Come back.
Everyone's so sad that I'm going. I'm actually going to go get something. You guys fill in.
Right, okay.
So
Can
what I'll
the
do
guys at
is
home see this? Or are
no,
just gonna
they
see us?
can in a
Okay.
second.
Can we see them as well so that we can...
Well, that's- I need to go and get
Wait a minute. Can we see the people watching this? So it's like
they're all like,
Hi, guys.
naked.
I know.
Quiet, Martin.
in my pants.
Right.
So right.
You need to use a
Name.
mouse.
Name. Okay, look, where's our viewers? Can we see what they're suggesting? In fact, they're in the other tab there, aren't they?
Which one?
Yeah, YouTube at the end one. There we go. Oh, no, fuck. Right, we're gonna.
What are they there?
Right. Don't cancel the stream.
I know,
Right.
that would be good.
Scroll down a
Cross
bit.
the
Scroll
stream.
down there.
Don't cancel the stream. Alright, everyone.
Hey guys. Oh, okay.
No, that's no, the
let's
new
do-
ones. It's
oh, no,
reversed
okay,
now.
okay.
Stop
Feel free
fucking
to
about
put me in
with
there.
it. Stop fucking about
Put
with
sir.
it.
Put
Don't-
sir.
No, fuck.
What?
Don't move it.
Why?
Because you can't go off the window. Fuck. Let me do it.
Why?
I'll give us the
don't
chat.
fuck off in the middle of
what-
this.
I had to go and get the chat. You
Do
mug.
you want to chrome autofill Callum's details?
You could get a good story out of that. Actually, you may
talk.
be the
I'll
bank
see it
numbers.
Right, name. Dennis
Waterman.
Dennis
Can we? Oh, you've got the right.
Quaid.
You got the chat
Mom, don't
there.
ask me that again.
Where's the chat?
Fucking chat, you know.
Oh, where is
Dennis Quaid. This isn't good for the viewers.
Randy
It's
Mugger.
supposed to be organised.
Right, Dennis Quaid will do, right? Okay, but what adjective do we want to put in there that's not Randy? I know that covers quite a lot of bases, but
An adjective to describe him or her. Spacious.
Yeah, that's quite good.
capacitous. No, spacious is pretty good.
Yes,
Yes, I can't pronounce that word, so you can put spacious.
It works for you, mate.
Special need. Okay, right. Somebody who might try to help your main character or make them female. I actually quite like the name that's in there. It's quite
Yeah.
good, lovely chest. What do you think?
What about a lotta?
Here we go.
A lot of.
Vagina.
Double T.
That's
For fuck's sake, spell it correctly, Michael. Right, a lot of minge.
Good do.
O'Toole.
A lot of O'Toole.
There's plenty of two.
I know, but
I'm roughing.
Come on, gentlemen.
But Minge isn't a surname. Minge isn't a good.
No, what?
James is
not-
unbelievable.
But a lot is
A
not.
lot is a first
Is a lot a name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since when?
Since like the 17th century.
Elizabethan times.
Yeah. Lottie.
I've never encountered anyone
Called
in
Lottie.
real life, in fiction.
Martin's just trolling you.
A lot
No,
of
no.
right. So you want a real second name?
Yeah, but one that also sounds like a fucking
Sandwich.
body part.
It's the second name. The Earl of Sandwich. A lot of sandwich.
Yeah, alright, a lot of
I'll
sandwich.
chat
Let's
back
do
up.
it. Oh, Madame Aim. Madame Aim. We could do Madame Aim. That's just what our fans at home are saying.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
I say fans loosely.
Right, so we're getting rid of Madam
People are
Sandwich.
putting up.
Right, Adam Aim.
Okay, right. His or her relationship to the main character.
See, this is the only problem with Mad Lib because there's a
What is
30-second delay.
What is it? Yeah. What does it mean exactly by
His or her relationship to the main character.
sister, or does it mean?
What happens if we click suggest?
Oh, okay, so. it
Oh,
works like
shit!
an Actual.
See, you just hit
I know,
that one as
thing.
well.
Clark Parker.
No,
Parker.
let's leave it. Let's leave it. It's fine.
Madam Aim. Come on.
Biscuit eater.
His or her relationship to the main character.
Plumber.
Alan says, wasn't Fritz Lang's wife called Lot?
Plumber.
So there you fucking go.
Lot. Hey, Lot's a name.
Yeah.
Lot is a lotta.
Uh huh.
Lot is not short for a lotta.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh la la. There's no way that lot is short for a
It
lotta.
fucking right after the live stream, we're
Call
looking this
bullshit.
up.
Right, his or her relationship to the main character.
Plumber.
Look, that's not a relationship thing.
Bo-
He's definitely
Body
plumber.
double.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
okay.
it.
Sex pest.
Jobs. Plumber.
Just try and put plumber and everything.
Second one, Christopher.
Jobs. Callum, come on.
Well, I'd put the other ones that are there.
Proctologist.
Yeah, that's quite a good one.
Is it proctology?
Proctology. You got it. You got it. And
Sex pest? Can you be actively employed in that profession?
You can if you take their wallet.
An
as
object. Tent peg was quite funny actually.
Yeah.
Had we been there at the start
Well.
of it,
Yeah. At the start, we'd have got the joke. Yeah.
it would have been amusing. Right. An object. A shiny penny. I don't know what do we have.
I like tent peg. It's
But
proved
we've
it-
already
it's
had it
proven
though.
it's
We've
an
already had it.
object.
Just looking around
An
the room here
e-book.
to see if I can. Yeah, ebook's pretty good.
Well, you don't have to put an ebook, just ebook.
I'm just looking around Callum's living room here to get any suggestions.
Uh,
A
whoa.
dragon dildo.
Lawn.
What happens if you
It's an
if you drag it off the screen, Cam? What happens?
Drag what?
Just the window because you freaked out when it was. Does the world end?
Well, just because there was untrained operators operating.
And no, but what does that actually do?
Don't ask
It
me.
doesn't do anything, does it?
It's blank space, mate.
It doesn't do anything.
It's the phantom zone.
It doesn't do anything. An adjective that could describe an object. Hairy.
Yep.
Yeah.
A hairy ebook.
Cuntish.
Number between 2 and 400.
There was not even any consultation.
Well,
A location.
Um,
Tam's shoe.
actually, Sir Ames wrote Porta Potty, which is quite a good location.
Aye.
Potty. Yep. Yep.
Go for that.
I know it was initially intended to be object, but port potty will do.
It's a location anyway, isn't it?
Three more adjectives. Hungry.
Oh, Jackie Boy, just seen your comment about Penny Dreadful. I've seen everything up to the most recent episode, and I've seen that, and it's very enjoyable.
Bilious. 1L.
And also, I agree with adjective. We're getting quaint from Chris.
Quaint. Yeah.
Quaint.
I agree with what you say. It does feel like what League of Gentlemen should have been, but League of Gentlemen's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is getting a remake, so they might try and
3
take it
arms,
away from the kind of shite that it was
singular
before.
dog, cat, kangaroo.
Callum's foot, dog, kangaroo.
No, that's the autocorrect.
Oh, right.
Do you take me for a fool, Martin?
Clearly wrote cat. Salp.
What's a?
Wee squirrel.
It lives in the sea.
It's your rubbish
Like a
keyboard.
jellyfish thing.
What?
Rubbish.
Salp.
Salp.
Yeah.
SALP.
Yeah. Sea cucumber.
What's a salp?
It's a sort of jellyfish type thing.
Are we just sticking purely to sea
No,
creatures?
because we're gonna throw it off here at the end. We're gonna put like
Typhoid.
tree monkey.
Tree monkey. Well, most monkeys are tree monkeys.
Yeah, I think there's a specific monkey called a tree monkey.
Lemur. 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 That is an actual monkey.
You
as
look like you're
opposed to...
straining a shit.
Don't you go up in that tree, monkey. You're not a tree monkey. Stay on the ground.
Something
Here is my
goes-
friend, Rock Monkey.
Something a ghost might appear when photographed.
Blood red. If you want to go down the creepypasta path.
Bent.
Bent ghosts.
Someone suggested radroach is a creature, which is quite a good
Yeah, I'll
Fallout.
take the salp out then and put a radroach in.
classic Fallout reference. I hope everyone's ordered their special Pit Boys. Have you seen that shit?
Yes.
You can spend like £100 to get a bit of plastic and you stick your phone in it and pretend you're in Fallout and not go to
2
work
body
and
parts.
lose everyone that you know.
Jejunum. Islet of Langerhans. It's in your liver.
Right.
ISLET.
I'm not typing that.
Tonsil.
Okay.
A type of accident, e.g., flying, hit and run, unfortunate, piano squashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
An adjective that could be used to describe a place.
Holy.
Sketchy.
Sketchy.
It's a bit
Sketchy. Let's do it. And finally, Michael Whitehouse, I think.
No, it's
Come on.
No.
Can't remember to
Because
capitalise.
if it's good, then
I'll fucking clean it. It's got my name on it. Like George Foreman.
Authors have to move with new technology. Come on,
I
this is
know.
the next.
I'm getting very cramped. just gonna say that. You guys are actually moving your legs in like a pincer movement. Dildo McSquibs. SQUIBBS.
I like how you're agonising over the spelling of McSquibs.
You ready, everyone?
Yep.
Let's do this.
I was born ready.
Instantly better than anything I've ever written.
Okay, let's make sure that we can get
Right.
this all in. I'm
Martin,
gonna go
you
full
do the
screen.
narrating for this one?
Wait. Cool.
The Curse of the Hairy E-Book, a horror story by Dildo McSquibs. Whilst investigating the death of a local sex pest, a spacious plumber called Dennis Quaid uncovers a legend about a supernaturally cursed hairy e-book circulating throughout Porta Potty. As soon as anyone
That does sound like a town.
Yeah.
As soon as anyone uses the ebook, he or she has exactly 69 days left to live.
Sexual.
The doomed few appear to be ordinary people during the day-to-day life, but when photographed, they look bent.
That should really be
Can I
funny.
just say, I didn't mean that in a homophobic sense.
It's all coming out now, Whitehouse. A marked person feels like a hungry radroach to touch. Dennis gets hold of the ebook, refusing to believe the superstition. A collage of images flash into his mind. A bilious sea cucumber balancing on a quaint sex pest. An old newspaper headline about a piano squashing accident. A hooded neighbor ranting about in her ear. And a drinking well located in a sketchy place. When Dennis notices his tonsils have radroach-like qualities, he realizes that the curse of the hairy ebook is true, and calls in his body double, a proctologist called Madame Aim, to help. Madame examines the ebook and willingly submits herself to the curse.
Himself. Oh shit. You should have changed the old.
Fucking listen, it's the 21st century, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
Madame is actually his first name.
He
Oh, yeah,
finds
that's true.
He finds that the same visions flash before his eyes. He finds the bilious sea cucumber balancing on a quaint sex pest, particularly chilling. He joins the queue for a supernatural death. Dennis and Madam pursue a quest to uncover the meaning of the visions, starting with the search for the hooded lemur. Will they be able to stop the curse before their time is up?
That's a great image. Billy is sea cucumber
That's
balancing
like
on a
something from
sex
H.P.
pest.
Lovecraft,
Isn't
isn't it? That's brilliant.
Particularly chilling.
That was lovely.
That was particularly chill.
Beautiful.
It
Right,
was.
gentlemen, what do
Great
we do
stuff.
next?
Uh,
I need to stop doing that.
urban legends.
Well, we do urban, do we?
Give me some of the. What have you brought?
You're rapping, you do spray paint.
I'll just be the
What is that? There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than someone trying to do that.
Oh, hey, one thing before we move on, we'd all like to take a minute to talk about Christopher Lee.
Oh, if I had a hat, take it off.
Poor
Chris.
Yep.
If I had a hat, he'd probably have stolen. I'm sorry. I love Christopher
He's
Lee.
panicked. He's
I
panicked.
love
The grief
Christopher Lee.
got him. Yeah. So of course.
I mean, he's a true. It really is a loss for horror, for cinema in general. I think.
But I mean, he got to a great age, and he's left a fantastic legacy behind him. Obviously, unfortunately,
been in some
sorry for
terrible
those
films
that
as well,
don't those that don't know. Spoilers: Christopher Lee died last week, was it?
Yeah.
No, actually, it was before your stag. It was was it the Friday or the Thursday?
Yeah.
So
Keep this open
it
so
was coming up for a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah. Obviously, an absolute icon of the screen, horror particularly.
do you know about the porno that he was in?
No, but
He was actually in. He was in a like
Christopher
a movie.
Lee
He was
does
hired.
dance.
Come in, Debbie, because I'm coming in you.
He was hired to do a film about the Marquis de Sade by an Italian filmmaker.
that's right, yeah,
And he
it's
came
about-
in. I forget the name of the film. Was it the
What a beautiful
The tortures
tribute
of-
to Christopher
the
Lee by
tortures-
Callum.
fucks off. Right, it was something like that. I can't remember, The Pleasures of Alice or something. I can't remember the name of the title. We need to look it up. But basically,
Callum, you want to say some nice things about a great man that's passed away. You get up, you leave, then you come back in screeching behind us.
No, he's not saying beautiful. So he's talking about porno.
no, I am talking about Crystal Lee. Right, so he showed up to make this film. So he stands around acting as the Marquis de Sade, going about blah, 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 looking off screen and all that kind of stuff. What he didn't know was, as soon as he left the set, everyone dropped their pants and started fucking. And then, so there's sort of shots of Christopher Lee walking about, looking like chilled, and looking off to the side, going,
And then
and that's
people having
intercut.
sex.
That's intercut with like full hardcore shots. Like Christopher Lee, although he doesn't himself like get his willy out, and start
Fornicate.
waving it about.
I would hope not.
He does have
Can-
top billing in a hardcore porn flick.
That's
I
beautiful.
would need to look up the title. I should have done this
Can I just
beforehand,
say though
but,
that when I was growing up, some say I'm still growing up, but when I was
Christopher
growing
Lee
up,
wasn't in any of your porn.
the Hammer horror films were like they were
Gospel.
really, really important to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
At a very young age, and Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee were at the pinnacle of those films. They were like the linchpins for
Yeah.
many of them. And now looking back, being a huge fan of horror, all of that generation, Christopher Lee was the last of
Yeah.
that generation.
Yeah, yeah,
Vincent Price is gone, and before that, I mean, I know like
Christopher
you could
Lee.
say
Yeah,
like,
well,
you
it
could
was
say
quite
like
a few
Boris,
years
you could
Peter
say like
Cushing.
Boris Karloff and
They were like
the
the
Ghost, you could say
prior
they were
generation.
the prior generation,
Yeah.
but Karloff was still working
At the same-
at the same
at the
time,
same
the sort of
time as
mid
Lee.
to late 60s. But there's a lovely video on YouTube, and it's of ChristopherLee and Peter Cushing, and not long before Peter Cushing passed away. And they're just sort of laughing together, and
Yeah.
you can
Is
tell
that
there was
the
a
one
real
that's-
love.
Is that in the
Interview.
house? Was that not the last video
They
of
get an
them
interview,
together?
the guy,
yeah.
Is that not the only interview they did together?
No. There's
No,
plenty of them.
is
I
there?
mean, there's a great one where they did something on South African radio.
No,
But there's that was the last interview they ever did together on camera. That was the last time they were together on camera. Anyway, that interview, I believe, in Wistability's house, because I think Peter Cushing was in quite a bad state. But obviously, I mean, the guy was
Cal says that like he was an opium addict.
He was
walking about with his trousers around his ankles.
He's gone full Sherlock Holmes,
shouting about vampires.
Don't look at me like that, Lee. I know about the porno.
But I mean, obviously he was 93 when he died, which is quite a fair age. But
that's bullshit. No, if I'm 93 and someone says you're going to die, I'm still going to be like.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
It's too early.
But but what I'm saying is, what's interesting is you get a lot of people that when they pass, they look back and there's a specific era where they were really prevalent and people know him for. What's interesting about Christopher Lee is he's actually well known to many different generations for his work in those different
across
time
decades.
periods.
Like, I think the only decade he didn't have something huge out in was maybe the 80s.
Yeah, like the age of 0 to 10. It's quite quiet then.
I think Chris Nutt mentions his metal albums.
Yep, all the Charlemagne stuff, because obviously he did have Royal Blood.
He had before that he worked with Manowar and Rhapsody and all those bands, and he did a lot, I think.
Pick your favourite Christopher Lee film, Martin.
Attack of the Clones, Martin.
No, it's difficult because he's one of those actors. I can't. Part of me wants to say the original Dracula. Yeah. The Horror of Dracula was the
in America.
Title. Was that the American title? And another part of me wants to say The Wicker Man. Even though he wasn't really the protagonist.
Some people argue The Wicker Man's the greatest horror film ever made. You know, I wouldn't make that argument.
It's not as scary. I don't think it's the greatest horror film, but it's probably his best performance.
And it's a unique film. There's nothing else like The Wicker Man, really.
They've tried so many times to do
except
things like it. The bees! But they've never quite.
That was more
succeeded.
subtle. That film.
What about you, Cam? What jumps to you?
Other than Dracula 1972, AD 1972.
That is a fantastic wee schlocky.
It's hilarious. It's brilliant.
I love all of the Christopher. I was always disappointed that Christopher Lee didn't come back for the Legends of the Seven Golden Vampires.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Dracula that he did away from Hammer?
Yeah, that is.
It was one he did for. In fact, I believe he did it for Jess Franco. It was Italian.
Movie?
I think he might. It might be wrong in this, but I think it was for the same guy that he made the porno for. But it wasn't the porno. But it's much
That's
closer.
How you got the trust.
Really, really low budget, and it's not that great, but it's a lot closer to the original Dracula.
He ultimately ended up hating Dracula as well, didn't he? Because
I think for a long time, because like you say, there was a probably 10-15 years where that's all people were really thinking of him as.
Yeah.
But can you think of any other film that
played a great Bond villain? He was the man with the golden gun.
Yeah, of course. Come now, Mr. Bond. Surely you derive just as much pleasure from killing as I do.
When I kill for Queen and Country. Right, anyway, can you think of a...
Knick-knack!
Can you think of another one?
What were you naming Christopher Lee films now? Think of another one.
I'm going to get this out of you, Callum.
There was one he did. Let me try and find it. You
guys
talk amongst yourself.
Martin will tell me my favourite film.
Yeah, okay.
I think one of mine's definitely The Devil Rides Out.
Yeah, very enjoyable.
Yeah, that is actually forgot he was in that.
That's an excellent film. And when you see the opening as well of that film, the first 10-15 minutes, when they're at the party, you get to see how Christopher Lee would have been a good James Bond.
Oh yeah,
you know, rocked it.
Have you heard of Starship Invasions?
No.
It's directed by Ed Hunt, produced by Ed Hunt, written by Ed Hunt.
Is that the Starship Troopers font?
Starring Christopher Lee. And also Robert Vaughn.
When was it made?
1977.
Don't say Robert Vaughn as if that's just a Castaway thing.
I know.
Robert Vaughn.
He's
was
awesome. He was also Robert Vaughn was also in Zombie 5. He was in Zombie 5. Right.
Robert Vaughn alone just because he lost his nerve.
Now wait a minute. I'll find that. This is Christopher Lee in Starship Invasions, right?
I'll have to go.
I will. I'll show you guys.
So guys, you guys getting this?
Do you know? I think I've seen that picture.
I don't. That was Christopher Lee in Starship Invasions. That's quite a flattering shot from the film. I think if there's a scene where he removes that hat and his head is that shape. Like it's fucking ridiculous.
Devil Rides Out is classic, and it's just another one where Christopher Lee's just got an incredible screen presence. Just lording about, telling people what to do.
The only thing with Devil Rides Out that it's the same problem that a lot of films have, which is that just the conclusion's not as good as the build-up. But it's based on a book, and I'd love to read it. I've never read it.
A lot of people also forget about Fu Manchu as well.
Wheatley, isn't it? Dennis Wheatley. He's got a bunch of books like that.
But anyway, it's sadly missed. Like I say, it had a huge impact on me as a kid. I mean, I was terrified. A lot of people forget, it's like when you're talking about the first Dracula film. When he enters in that film, he enters at the top of the stairs, and it's the entrance is pretty incredible, and he speaks. And that might not sound like a big thing, but in the other films he has barely anything to say. But he does get to play Dracula for a good amount of it, and actually have dialogue.
Does it not vary from film to film?
There's one where he's got none. There's one where he's got none. I can't remember which one it is, but there's one where all he does is go.
Fellowship of the Ring is a good point. I mean, Ian McKellen and Christopher Lee together were incredible.
But when you look at the Peter Jackson Tolkien films, the Fellowship of the Ring stands head and shoulders above all the other ones.
Yeah, I think he really got shafted ultimately though when they cut out all his stuff in the.
They never did. I think either way they did it in the book. They go back to the Shire.
They didn't shoot it though, did they?
No, they go back to the.
No, they did. It's in it.
Not the scouring of the Shire. They didn't do, but they showed. They wrote a death for him. And they did shoot it, and he gets stabbed by Wormtongue, which does happen in the book. And then he falls off the Tower of Isengard.
Whereas in the book, he's
so filled with hate for what the hobbits have done that he goes back to the Shire.
And he actually he industrializes the Shire.
He basically enslaves them.
He basically causes an industrial revolution in the Shire, but he's like the mill owner, and in which was. It would have been quite interesting to see in the film, I think, because
especially with that really fucking wanky ending that Return of the King's got. Can you imagine if Saruman just turned up and Sam's having his wee wedding and everything? He just fucking brutalised him.
Peter Jackson said the reason they never did it was because you can't have a smaller finale to a big one. But then when you look at the actual, even the theatrical versions get about 1 million endings.
It was ridiculous. There was a natural cutting off point, and then all of a sudden
there's that moment where they're getting lifted off the side of the mountain by the big eagles, and you're like, finally I can stand up.
It's a bit when Aragorn becomes king,
and he says
you think
to no one.
You're like, right, and there's about an hour fucking left to go, an hour and a half or something left to go.
I really needed to know what was happening with fucking Bilbo. Good to know he's away in a boat.
Well, that's all quite important to the story, but I think the way they dealt with it...
Not in the movies, though.
I think it should have been in the extended version, but it shouldn't have been in the theatrical cut. There was no need for it. It should just have ended with Aragorn saying, you bow for no one, or kneel for no one.
Even
that could have been the ending, you know.
And then Sean Connery shows up, and then...
They offer him Gandalf!
Then Friar Tuck turns to the camera and goes... Time for a celebrate. What's the end of Robin Hood, where fucking Friar Tuck just turns to the camera and goes,
"Let's get pissed."
That's enough. Let's get pissed.
Can
you imagine if it had been Sean Connery though instead of him?
When Christopher Lee met Ian McKellen when they were reading for Lord of the Rings, he just turned around to Ian McKellen. The first thing he said to him is, "I always thought I should play Gandalf." And that's the thing is though, Christopher Lee was like
he knew Tolkien.
He was a Tolkien expert as well. When he said that, he would read the book once, maybe twice a year. But anyway, so Christopher Lee, gone but not forgotten.
Sadly missed.
Just very quickly to say,
time he was a dick to Ian McKellen.
No, he wasn't.
I think that even though he had a smaller part as a result of being Saruman, I think he would have been wasted on Gandalf. I think he was much better as...
I don't know. I think when you watch something like The Devil Rides Out and you get to see Christopher Lee as this
hero,
you realise how he's got the gravitas to pull that off. And can I just say as well, massive anthology horror fan, and Dr. Terror's House of Horrors has Christopher Lee in it, and there's a
Horror Express. Let's not forget about that.
Is he in Asylum?
He's in two. He's in two of the Amicus ones.
No, is he in Asylum?
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying. No, he's not in Asylum. He's not.
It's Doctor Who that's not in. That's
Peter Cushing.
No, not that Doctor Who. Pertwee.
Oh no, Peter Cushing isn't in Asylum, is he? No, I don't think.
Horror! Horror!
Right. So what do you want to do next?
Well, you guys better do your urban legends.
The post-it. from hell.
I've got the videos queued up here, but I've also got
Do you know
one.
what this is
Ghost
entertainment.
Fair
This is
discusses. What does that say?
This is gold. This
Right,
is, well,
so
let's do the ones that you've got first.
Right,
Then, 'cause
do you have those files I
I
sent
might
you?
have
Uh-huh.
some.
Do you have them ready to go?
Uh-huh.
Right, so I think I think last time, if you were with us, you might remember, we covered, what was it again, the Minnesota Dogman? We
Yeah,
showed the Minnesota Dogman, the Gable
film.
video. So we thought we'd do a few more, and it went down quite well. I think we thought we'd do a few more quote-unquote mysterious, spooky,
Do you want to start with the
unexplained,
first one?
although most of them are explained, YouTube videos. The first one I've got here, you'll find it's a very, very small, and I'm sorry, this is like 2008 YouTube quality because it was posted on YouTube in 2008. This is well, I'll let you just watch it. This is a spooky encounter.
They won't get any
In
sound
an
if that's
abandoned
not
house.
a problem, unless you want. It
yeah,
does desperately need sound.
sound would be good. Yeah.
I'm sure it would.
Why can't they get sound?
Because it doesn't. Wirecast doesn't do it that way. Maybe it'll work this way.
Just turn the volume way up.
And
So-
mute your phone, Mark.
Yeah.
Let's go in the house.
So this is a couple of guys exploring some abandoned houses and in some very wobbly compressed footage. I'll just let the video play.
Cool. Probably good. I've done this.
I love shit like this. I
I
do
think it used
know,
to be a garage.
even though it's invariably bullshit.
Can you guys hear this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a
Yeah, you can
warehouse.
see it picking up.
Look at the roof.
Quite low though.
It's even lower when you talk over it.
Where?
In there, shit, look.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck? Look at that shit.
Huh?
Three glass. The oven. The oven door.
Where?
In the middle of the living room.
The roof is all fucked up. Holy shit! Go, go!
Might want to skip back a bit if you missed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go full screen larger with this because I'm not entirely sure what we saw there.
Yeah, there is.
Skip back, don't keep it playing.
Hi, I'm going back. I'm making the video
Look at
bigger.
that shit.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck? Look at that shit.
Huh?
Three glass. The oven. The oven door.
Where?
In the middle of the living room.
The roof is all fucked up.
Oh, is that what they saw up
Yeah,
there?
so supposedly the guy saw something float past that didn't have any, that had like a top but no legs. But to me it looks like the guy does have legs. To me it looks like the guy's wearing jeans. But apparently
That's someone in a
motion-
hood and cloak.
It does look like that to
Or a
me.
hoodie.
But this video was like all over YouTube a few years ago.
Really?
Everyone was freaking out
I've
about it.
never seen it before.
But apparently the guy floats. He doesn't step. Can we step through this frame by frame?
There's not many keyframes, but I'll do my best.
Because I thought it was.
Enhance.
I thought it was. I crapped myself and shouted that.
Scarier in the video.
I thought
Right.
it was going to be the one where they look and it's it's a tall figure that comes in the doorway.
So, no, you can see legs. though,
Yeah,
look.
he moves his legs. See, it looks like there's a kind of hazy mask down below. But what is he's wearing a black, or possibly a woman actually, because it looks sort of female shaped. Like it looks when you watch the video like just a kind of hazy mask, but actually it's a black hoodie with legs. So there we go. We've debunked that one.
Case
There was
closed.
someone upstairs.
Yeah, you can see the legs moving.
Okay.
Still, if that
Debunked.
if that was someone,
You'd still be creeped out.
Yeah, okay.
I love seeing the reaction. Now we know it's just some guy upstairs.
Dude, there's a person. Dude. Yeah, there is. Nick.
The reaction is genuine though. I
Yeah.
think. I
Yeah,
think
that's
they.
what- that-
I
that's-
think what you've got there is somebody inside there stripping the metal out of the building. But yeah, that and
It's pretty creepy though because it doesn't make any noise.
Yeah.
Jackie Boy says not scary. I'm inclined to agree. But
Jackie, go fuck yourself.
I imagine if we were there at the time. Mark,
Serene thinks it's staged. I don't think it's staged. I think they genuinely didn't expect it, but I don't think it's anything.
I think it's difficult to give people the benefit of the doubt these days. There's so much stuff, and it's so easy to be cynical these days that there's so many fake ones.
Seeing, repeat after me. Seeing is not believing. That's what I always say.
Do I have to repeat after you?
Yes, you have.
But
Right,
that is true though.
Oh, sorry, I'll let you.
People
This one's
should
even.
always be skeptical.
This one's even smaller.
But it's good fun.
But this one's in Spanish. Can we turn it up so people can understand it? Because if it's louder, people will be able to understand it.
All those similar Spanish words.
It's a gigantic zebra in the background. It's terrifying me.
Oh, hello. Hello, Pulpit.
Oh, I've seen this.
Son parecidos a brujas. Desde México, Alejandro Mendoza tiene los impactantes testimonios.
That's not audio from the video.
Okay. Members of the local Mexican UFO club, brilliant.
Experts.
The scientific elite.
I remember seeing this.
Dios mío!
Así llegaron a una primera conclusión. Tal vez aquello era una bruja. Pero esa
We need
presunta
to pass
aparición
this
era
on
solo
to the
un
local
caso
witch.
El policía cambió el panorama.
Problem is with drones and everything now.
No, this was like in 2005.
I know.
Dos garras negras.
So like an RC helicopter.
Me asusto. Y me doy cuenta que
back to
no la
that.
veo así, pero ella iba agachada.
Is that a tennis ball?
Entonces me hago para atrás, me meto.
Just an apple, this is lunch.
Sorry, it's Mexico.
Según él, una noche cuando vigilaba este lote de autos recibió la visita
Also
de dos
known
seres que
as
volaban sobre el panteón
people-
de Santa Catarina, ubicado a espaldas
Unfortunately, we tried to go further, but we were hit with obtrusive subtitles.
Leonardo Samaniego relató un encuentro similar. Curiosamente, él también era un policía.
Estaba vestido de negro y traía los ojos grandes. Y tez morena.
This reminds me though of
Ya venía con ser más.
the one a few years ago. It was probably around about the same time, and it's there in the graveyard, and they see the little girl, and that's really
El oficial
really creepy.
Samaniego, que trabaja en un municipio distinto al de su colega, contó mientras era
It's just that
auxiliado por
I can't
paramédicos
remember,
que
but
una
I think
bruja
it's
lo había
maybe
atacado, dejándolo inconsciente.
maybe Spanish or
Policías locales
Portuguese.
comenzaron a dar cuenta de otros
I can't remember.
inquietantes sucesos. Surgió entonces la duda de si aquellos casos tenían relación con la imagen grabada recientemente por Jerónimo y sus compañeros de los
Loving it. Just I love they actually played the X-Files music there.
ser que fue captado justo en la cúspide de esta montaña, aunque sus características coinciden en ciertos casos con las que
Just when the witch is flying.
I know.
Just take him
Alright, Dave.
una bruja, misma que de acuerdo a los investigadores del fenómeno ovni, sigue rondando los cielos de esta ciudad. Aunque tras analizar mejor los movimientos de la curiosa imagen, llegaron a una
Mulder and Scully jumping up trying to grab it down.
Personal, yo me inclino a pensar que se trata de una entidad
I'm
extraterrestre.
inclined to say bullshit.
Y esta entidad extraterrestre va montada prácticamente sobre un aparato individual para volar.
Con esta nueva hipótesis,
Could have been otherwise though, I was drunk.
Or it could be a balloon.
We asked an astronomer for her opinion, gave her 2 seconds of footage, and then straight back to the ladies.
La gente suele ponerle rostro y nombre según sus experiencias previas, lo que podría haber ocurrido en este caso.
It's always shaky, isn't it?
And a smudge in the lens.
Mis antenitas de marciano. Digo, ¿cómo sabe usted que yo no soy extraterrestre?
Put her away!
You're not taking this.
Oh, where's she going? Where's she going? Her head! Oh! Man, they just shot her head off.
Probably deafened the people listening to this.
Como lo
So,
dije
we
una
haven't
vez,
turned the stream
en
up.
el misterio, todas las posibilidades están abiertas.
Okay, what do you think?
Bullshit.
Witch or no witch?
Balloon.
Should we put her in the water and see if she sinks or floats?
Aye.
Because I think this is one case where that would work. Because
And what
what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Did Mulder ever pump Scully? I think he did, because by the movie, when the movie came out, they've been living together for a few years apparently. So.
You would though, Gillian Anderson.
Beautiful lady.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying there.
Start yawning. Good night, everyone.
Serene skepticism is paramount. I think my next video maybe makes that.
I'm gonna
makes
make you
that a
all
little-
look like idiots.
yeah, maybe makes it a little
I
bit
just
clear.
love that Jackie Boy cuts to the important stuff.
Yeah.
Did Mulder ever pump Scully?
Oh, it's true.
It's
a good. That's a question I want to know.
I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's pretty awesome.
Is this Mulder pumping Scully? Scunny?
What just happened?
What? Space is my friend.
There we go.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Have you seen this?
Aye.
What the fuck? Who's Tom Mabe?
Is that Tom?
That's Big Tom. This is just worth watching for its.
Is this just one of these YouTube ones where they ban people up? I think I've seen this already.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Okay.
It's such a cool.
Have they not got sound coming out of it as well?
Yeah, watch. You would shit yourself if you were just.
Right.
What's this?
Is this the same guys that did Spider Dog and all that?
I don't know. This is the only one I've
seen. He wasn't running flat out before.
Hello?
Mix in the stream now.
Hello, Meek.
Hello, Mick.
Hey!
Imagine he took the ball and managed to get it in the hoop.
You would crap yourself.
Look at that! I mean, look at how fucking terrifying that is.
The thing is, if the person making this video didn't then explain to the people, they'd
Someone would believe that. Yeah. Play the next one.
Just get chased by a ghoul.
So maybe you're dick.
Play the next one.
Okay.
It's the follow up to that.
Put a fake Jimmy Savile face on it. Yeah, that's a beautiful. That would be much better. He's got a point.
Jimmy Savile, still a lot of mileage in Jimmy Savile, isn't
there? An unbelievable amount of mileage. Right, fourth one.
This is the last one from me.
Okay.
Martin's scary.
Chris Nutt's given a suggestion for a video as well. We need to look at that.
Yes, we will. This isn't the Polish guy though, is it?
No, this is the same guy. He does a making of and stuff, but there's some more cool scares in this one. So
cool.
I thought it was worth a look.
Small spooky scares.
I've got some real ones, everyone.
Cool.
Don't you worry. Is this the same guy?
Yeah.
Is this Mark II?
Yeah. It's just some good shit. Yeah.
That's a prime demographic right there.
They're running for their life.
You know, some of these people are religious nuts and they went back to their bunkers in the house.
What's the
Imagine the dog just tore it apart.
Well,
he's fucking taking a risk.
Yes! Kill it!
was a drone. End of video.
They had a drone with some.
Hey guys,
This
Tom
guy,
Dave here with
this guy,
special behind
Mr.
the
Beard.
scenes on the epic Halloween prank.
This goes on for quite a long time. I don't know how much longer.
He's fake. That's
Right,
not real.
so I can tell
That's a drone.
The
by
wind's blowing him about.
but this grouping of hair here,
Right.
if we zoom in on this here,
That's actually just a monkey suit.
yeah, yes, Michael.
Search for.
Oh, you've not even prepared videos. Fucking
I
hell.
didn't give you the links. I just did the research. We'll find it. It's fine. One of these search queries came up with some rather disturbing stuff.
Okay.
Right, you ready?
Oh fucking hell! Someone's fucked up with my windows.
Someone's fucked up with my windows. Dead air. I love the sound
No,
of dead air.
everyone else, feel free to
Right,
talk.
so
I'm just trying to fill out the comments.
searching YouTube for I think it's NYPD ghost car chase.
Okay. And what will complete his fight? Is this one here, you think?
Yep.
This is
Now,
one of them's no.
One's called the
Don't-
real video.
Don't go
2006.
Go onto YouTube. Go onto YouTube because it's a 2008.
Is there
one.
not a Kavinsky song
But this
that
is
uses the audio
2006.
from this?
It's a I know, but it's not as good quality.
Oh fuck.
Is there not a
so just-
Kavinsky
just
song or
put in-
something that uses the audio from this? We've seen how strange things can get at night. But things are
Impossible,
about to get
I don't
a
know.
whole lot stranger. Bet you says
See,
that.
like a space bar doesn't work properly.
Yeah, it does.
Right, 2008. I'm
Click
sure.
One Love Lesbians.
Well, this one's got like.
Yeah, but that's fair enough. That's 8 years ago, so it'll be potato quality.
There was one. There was one. New, right, well, just go to the last one then. Just go to the
This one
you
here,
were on.
ghost card
No,
dispute.
the one you were in a minute ago.
Right.
No, is it?
The most.
Right.
We've seen how strange things can get at night. Well,
But things are about to get a whole lot stranger.
This is good.
That's Martin's
This
edition. Though.
mysterious driver tricks cops into thinking he's about to pull over. Then all hell breaks loose. The officers watching this tape get only a quick glimpse of the man behind the wheel. It's the last look they'll get. For a moment, it appears as if the driver and his car have disappeared into thin air.
Until we see him again.
But in the blink of an eye, the driver comes into view again.
So he went off the road.
He tries to outrun the police rather than just vanish. His moves are still baffling to the police as he swerves all over the road, driving like a man possessed. And just when he's really thrown the cops for a loop, he gets back on a straightaway, showing off a seemingly supernatural speed.
What? You found the accelerator?
In just a moment, he's going to make a turn
Into the Twilight Zone.
Watch. The fence at the end means no way out. Or does it?
Alright, so you jumped it. Like smoking the bandit.
The car's gone.
Cops are unable to make sense of
Car's
See you later,
never
Jackie.
said
See you, Jackie.
See you, Jackie.
fence and nothing more than the
Car's
vanishing
never said the
taillights
fence.
of what the Garden City PD has
So either he's Bruce Wayne.
He drove round the fence, there's a gap.
Ah, but that's
No, there's not. When you look at the better quality one, there's not.
so he's smoking the bandit that just
So,
jumped right over
I
it.
think he's just Bruce Wayne, and he's got like a fence that just shoots up out of the ground. So that was one I always thought that one was quite freaky.
That is quite cool.
Or it might be like a fence that bent down and then snapped
Alright,
back up when he drove over it.
I've got a bunch of these.
I say that like we're going to be convinced of the paranormal by one of these videos.
I know. I've got a bunch of photographs. Do you want any of them now, or do you want to just keep doing the videos?
Keep doing the videos just now and then.
Yeah, we can do. I'm just trying to bring it back up because the other window got closed.
Okay, if I can read more in writing. Alright, Area 51.
Shifty bun.
Area 51.
Okay. Is this just
Just search on YouTube.
Okay.
Area 51 and then the frantic caller.
I don't think I've heard this.
Is this just audio?
Yeah.
Okay.
In
In
1997.
1977, syndicated talk show host Art Bell received a call from a frantic caller.
1997.
A man claiming to have worked in Area 51. The call does not appear to be a hoax. Instead, it is an eerie sound of truth. The call was immediately knocked off the air. Don't know what knocked off the air means, but
They lose their entire feed.
could
during
it
the
be
call.
that the government or the aliens silenced him from knowing what was their plans? Like the Mysterons.
You got bored just through the middle of.
You be the judge, Judy.
Dead air.
Look at that one up there. It
This
says
guy should
dying
have thought of us when
ex-CIA
he was in
workers
it.
confirmed
Here we go,
about
here we
Area
go.
51 and aliens.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
That's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
He has
I
shit
was let
himself.
go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They'll triangulate on this position really soon.
Well, you can't spend a lot of time on the phone, Joe, so give us something quick.
Okay, okay, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now aren't.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left.
I mean, this just sounds more like something that's unstable.
He's obviously
because of the extra dimension beings.
Of course. But the whole program loses its satellite feed. The whole program.
There's still ages to go.
Yeah, because he comes back on. They lose him, but they're no longer broadcasting.
Right.
The satellite radio, and the whole station goes dead.
Mm.
And then they come back on, and that's when Art starts talking to one of his tech guys about it.
Okay.
Transmitting lost, it says.
Debunked.
Yeah. Guys, if you're going to hold a radio broadcast, make sure you stay on the air.
So we probably should have had this on the video.
That's Giorgio Moroder.
Yeah, but backup system now up and running.
Wait,
Okay, so the radio station itself lost power. Is that what you're
I'm
saying?
very going to quickly go to turn this down because
Yeah.
this will probably get us a fucking flag.
Apparently the whole
So it
program,
wasn't. He didn't just get cut off.
No, it was like the whole.
Something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
Is it the government or?
I don't know.
It has to be something though.
Well, did you hear? Now you tell me because you were listening.
Oh, it must have just been a caller.
There was a really weird guy
Another
on the
caller,
air when it
yeah.
went off.
Yeah, real weird out.
Like going sort of sounding paranoid,
Yeah.
schizophrenic.
Like crying and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how far into the conversation was it when it went off?
Just a couple, about 15, 20 seconds, I'd say.
Oh, you guys you really missed the call then, and I've got a feeling somebody didn't want you to hear it.
They just sort of go over it now. It's not nothing else really happens, but
So I mean, they don't have a recording of that or anything. They didn't manage.
No. What we heard was like we heard stuff that went on after the radio station lost power, presumably.
yeah,
Right.
they lost their ability to transmit basically.
Right. But you know, I don't know if you guys ever read the Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's plans in that for like a system that you can use to temporarily knock a radio station off
Really?
off the air. So
Play Britney Spears.
Did they work though?
well, back in the 70s or whatever, they probably did. Or you know, if you had enough juice to put behind it, like basically to block or jam or fry the radio station, and so it could be a hoax. It could be, you know, a really good actor with something. It could be something equivalent to
that guy said very unhinged though.
What do you call the head? What do you call that guy that was in telly in the 80s?
Are you going to say Max Headroom?
The Max Headroom
because
intrusion.
the next video,
right?
next video is about Max
We've done
Headroom.
that. We're sure we did that once before, not last.
There's
week,
a Reddit post about a guy that knows
who
did it.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, the guy. Was it the video with the guy and he's getting spanked? And all that?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was about to say. It could be something equivalent to that, which, you know,
The guy could be mentally ill.
It could just be chance. But he did seem really freaked out, which was interesting.
Oh wait, the caller is Brian J.L. Glass, a comic book writer. Nothing to do with government or aliens, just a joke. That's got a few upvotes on Facebook. Must be true.
Check. If it's got upvotes on Facebook.
87 people, can't be wrong.
So the next thing that I looked at, and I didn't really get to research it too well, but there are videos called the Marble Hornets video.
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Yes. Martin tried to show me this.
But I've seen a good chunk of it.
We'll go over that then. Will we look at some of the photographs then?
Yeah.
Right now, these are paranormal photographs, supposedly paranormal photographs, but I put into the search to find this photograph. Don't put this in.
Gay anal sex.
Yes, exactly. I put in the granny photo.
Yeah, okay.
And
it
didn't come up very well. So I think what you should put in is the granddad ghost photo.
Okay, just something to get people going for the meantime. Clear that other thought from the head. The granddad. Just need to reinitialize it on the YouTube.
Just happened.
Will we try and find this photograph again?
Yep.
Just like what happened with Frantic got, yeah.
Right. Well, we find out with the photograph.
Do you know we couldn't have actually planned that?
Hello, Andy. Yeah, that's fucking mental. But basically, YouTube had a bitch fit, and we had to restart the whole system. So
right, well, we find this photograph.
Sure.
So it's granddad ghost photo.
Okay.
Make sure you put in ghost.
I will.
Not whole.
Not just granddad photo. Certainly, granny photo brought up some things that I
would never wish to see again.
Staring at the sun, whenever I blink, I can still see it.
Granddad, what is
ghost photo? That's it there.
Okay, so
that negative one. Spooky.
So supposedly this picture was taken and there was no one standing behind her, and the person that took it swears that there was no one standing behind her, and they think that it might be their grandfather.
Right, so this one here,
who's already passed on. Yeah.
Oh, this dude up the back.
Yeah.
This fucking.
It's quite creepy.
Yeah.
It's quite creepy.
Really creepy.
I think I mean, that to me looks like a pareidolia. Oh fuck no! Right, okay. That is, I was looking at the trees.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck.
But that's what people have mentioned after.
Aye.
They've looked at the photograph, but it's quite unnerving.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Solway Spaceman.
Yeah, where he's sticking out an angle from the head.
Yeah, we should show the Solway Spaceman.
But then that always annoyed me, that picture. Even when I was a kid and I would get all the unexplained books that were going through all these
Spaceman.
All of these photographs. Even I looked at that and I was like, it's a toy.
No. I'll tell you what it is. I reckon, right? So apparently they took this photograph of this little girl and they're like, oh my god, there's a space. It does look like just a spaceman standing in the background. But see, what I see What I see is somebody looking away.
Yeah.
He's got a white hoodie on. He's bald on the top, and he's got dark black silvery hair kind of around the back of his pate, and he's
that's much less realistic than the
Martin,
Spaceman.
this
There's a guy on stilts. He's currently signaling a helicopter.
Okay, right. Have you seen the Scottish Castle ghost picture? Which
No.
Wiseman, who's a sort of famous skeptic. This is the one picture that
Mick doesn't believe that I'm the real man.
Yeah,
we've never believed.
Sorry, Robert Wiseman.
This one, mate.
This is the there you go. It's the one picture of all the pictures they analysed where they it's not that.
This one.
This one. That one there. Yeah. Where they genuinely have no real explanation for it. There will be, because it was I think there was a large study done into it.
Doesn't seem to be any bigger. It's obviously a zoom in on an image.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's a woman?
But the face is very strange and contorted. So
it looks like a waxwork.
So
to me.
yeah, but that's what they're saying is that, and it also looks as if they're maybe possibly wearing the clothes of someone from a certain period.
It actually looks like the head's coming through the bars.
Yeah, but it could be the wall and the light. Because the face looks all squished.
No,
and if it's like
that's
one
fingers,
thing I would say,
that's fingers. Like
no,
that's someone looking through the bars like that with a hand over their face.
You think so?
Yeah, they're putting their hand, they're curling their fingers.
So look how much that's been enhanced, right? That one doesn't look. Obviously, that's low res on the left, but that doesn't look. If you enhanced it that much, that you would get that image out of it.
But this is this is a picture though, Callum, that's been.
Yeah, if Richard Wiseman's
it's the one picture.
Yeah.
It's the one picture where he said.
This isn't that one. The right isn't an enhancement to this photo, is it? That's them just showing that's the.
It is, but that they've obviously had like a raw version of that photo and gone right into it, whereas that's just a wee. But yeah, see what I mean? That's a hand. The hand's up. No, it's hooked round the bar like that.
Ah, right.
In front of the face. That's what I would say. But I see what you mean. Like it could be a mouth. But when I see that, I see a hand. Do you know the famous the Nintendo 64 GoldenEye? Once you've seen it, you can never unsee it thing from the front cover
the
of
gun
GoldenEye.
like that.
Yeah, it's like a version of that. Have you seen it? You know where he's holding in the front cover of the GoldenEye N64 game. He's holding a gun and
then it looks like he's
got right. Yeah, if you look it up, yeah.
It's the game, isn't it?
Yeah. It's. So no, but look up GoldenEye once you see it. Type once you see it because it will bring up.
They've all got it.
But they'll show a bit. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. See it?
That's good.
The shadows never line up perfectly. Right, that's his hand, right? But see if you took that, if you said, "Now here's a man with a big, massive mouth," and then you're primed before you go and see it, you'll be like, "Oh my god!"
Type in Freddie Jackson photograph.
Cool.
This one?
Yeah, this is quite a famous one. I've seen this in quite a few things, but just I don't know if you guys had looked at it before. So this is a picture that was taken. And this guy was already dead, supposedly, and the men in that photograph have identified him as their former comrade, who's I think already been, I can't remember, shot down.
Where is this guy within the shot?
I think it's up near the back. You probably get another version of the.
Okay, we're looking for a guy with a white rimmed hat.
There, up. See, up in the middle kind of section. I think that's him there. I think that is him. Look, I think that's him there with a kind of ghostly mouth. Here.
Where?
No.
Yeah, look with the ghost mouth.
No, it's not the mouth. Look,
he's got a ghost. He's got a ghost mouth. Look, he's got a ghost mouth.
Look at the picture of Calum. It's the guy peeking out from behind his head.
Alright.
Alan says this is actually what Brosnan looks like in real life. They just green screen it off.
So,
that is the image. Look, there's the shadow on the side of him.
Yeah,
that is the guy there.
He doesn't have a ghost mouth.
He's got the shadow side. He does. Look, this ghost mouth.
Yeah, that's just because it's a low res.
No, but that for me confirms
There's
it.
a double. Yeah,
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
The picture is doubly haunted. Yeah.
Yeah, look, because his eyes aren't even level.
Look at the guy next to him. I think he's scary. Look at the guy.
Look, he's got like.
Look,
if
you think you see that little faint image behind him, look at the guy behind the next guy. He's pure clear as day.
Now, see if you go onto YouTube.
But see, in fairness, we've only got people's words that this guy looks like that.
If you go onto YouTube, one of the videos we were talking about.
Can I also say before we move on from this that at the time the kind of plate exposures that they would have used, the shutter speeds that they would have used, quite likely that someone behind him is moved.
It's also it wouldn't be, although nowadays we think it's dead easy with Photoshop and stuff to do fakes. It wouldn't really have been that difficult.
That's a double exposure.
It does look like a double exposure, and I don't think it would be that difficult for the photographer, knowing that this guy died, to put that in there either to make them feel better or as a prank.
Yeah.
You know, all it would take is when he's enlarging the photograph to like stick in a tiny photograph of the right size and the right place for him to make that appear on the print.
But that's the thing as well, though, what they used to say with the Victorian school kids. Remember there's all those Victorian photos where there'd be like a ghost child in it?
Yeah.
Because they used to use plate photographs back then, kids used to jump and run from the other side and get their pictures taken at both ends.
Yeah.
And although, I don't know, this could be 1914, I don't know if this is the First or Second World War, it certainly looks more like the first to me. There is a chance back then that this wasn't actually taken on a negative, but rather than taken on a plate, at which point it's highly likely that it could be a plate photograph, at which point, debunked!
Yeah.
Well, it's a theory.
But Mick's got an interesting theory here.
Charlie Chalk, how you doing, sir?
That they're all ghosts, and in fact that man in the background is the only human who's been haunted by like 100 ghosts.
You're right, they're probably all dead anyway.
Right, so see if you go on YouTube, right, and see. Let's see if we can find this video, which is the one that I mentioned. It's in the graveyard, and it was doing the rounds a few years ago. So put in like graveyard girl ghost, graveyard girl. It came up right away.
The Monster Mash. It's not her,
It's
is
not
it?
her, no.
It's not this one, is it?
No.
Okay. Oh, Michael, you've picked the wrong. This is actually a YouTube channel.
Right. Put ghost in the.
What is in her bag? There's another conspiracy.
I really don't care. Right.
Mark, can you get me a beer, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
Put graveyard.
You guys
girl
hold me
ghost.
one in.
I think they're all right. Hang on, Mike. We've got a comment from Meek, and it says, actually, my mum studied photography, all darkroom stuff, and one of their assignments was to fake a ghost picture.
I'm pretty sure it's Mick.
It is Mick. Why do you just keep saying Meek?
Right. So graveyard girl ghost. Right.
It's her again! We can't escape her!
Right.
She looks a bit like a ghost, doesn't she? She doesn't look normal.
Wait a minute.
I am in control, Michael. What are you doing?
What's happening? Why won't it scroll?
Creepy girl walking at the cemetery. Was that it up there? Michael, we can't both work.
Ghost girl
our hands are
content.
touching. Our hands are
Go.
touching.
That's it. Martin, are you ready?
Hey, it's Internet Ghost.
Right. Hey!
So I don't know if you guys
sir?
know how to spot an alcoholic, right? Okay, so this.
Right, so here we
this
go.
here. Oh,
God's
right, okay, all right.
Porky. Alright, fuck. Hang on. I need to change the death presenter. No audio with this, or is there?
Should be. I love how they're invariably of fucking potato quality.
This was quite a while ago.
There's no audio in this video.
There is in the version that I've seen.
Not in this one, straight.
Should we find the one with audio?
You want me to? Does it make a difference?
It's been years since I've watched it. It's just I always remember. This was one of the first videos that I saw.
We're not going to get the
YouTube.
impact without audio, are we, when they all freak out? Assuming they all freak out.
Okay, well, we'll find another one. 3 ghost stories I heard at the spa. Is that just shit?
No, Cal!
Fucking hell! What's that?
Well, we're not getting audio from this either.
God, it's like one of the.
Cal, we're not getting audio from this.
It's like what Dark Crystal.
Poor girl, leave her alone.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're not getting audio at all from that.
Okay, I'm working on it. Fuck's
Can't
sake.
fix it. Can't fix
Ow!
it. Fix it. Fix it.
Oh, that's what the problem was. Do. Right, okay, we can get audio now.
It's expensive being able to hear us.
I don't know if there's a...
right, which one was it that you were on? This one.
The one with the guy.
Ghost Girl. We click that one then.
Ghost Girl Cemetery Mexico. Aye,
It's
that'll
the
be
same
it.
thing, but it's just whether it's been better quality.
Well, one's been viewed more, we'll just go with that.
That's more like it.
What?
Dude. It's not Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica, is it? $1:28 AM. Yes, we were up. We're big boys.
No sé si es cosa mía. No sé ni mal. No seas idiota. ¿Qué es esto?
We're not going to be able to see anything, are we?
No está más lógico una niña llorando en un cementerio a las 12 de la noche. No más.
Is he on the knee?
A la 1:30. Sí, escuchar.
Right, immediately that's time dilation, that's aliens.
Amiga, ¿cómo te llamas?
Focus.
Amiga. Niña.
Ah! Did you say that?
Random words!
Get the net!
Loud noises!
It's actually Jeremy Beadle.
What was the one? Did you show one?
Reach out and touch things.
Did you show?
Yeah, that's bullshit as well.
One that was the one in the was it the car? Was that last time that we were looking at that?
What was that?
They pick up a hitchhiker or something like that, or I can't remember. Must be something else that I've seen.
Jeremy Beadle Ghost. What's this?
I love Jeremy. Did you not love? Did you not love Beatles about it? It was great.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Are we just caloring on YouTube?
I've got some stuff here. Everyone can check the stream status is now good. That's good. Yeah. Shall we look at this one that I've found? That's
Squidward Susie.
Have you read about this?
Squidward Susie.
Yeah. Something brought this to my attention. Right.
Please no.
No. This is
We are done if we're talking about Squidward Susie.
Have you read it?
Callum, it's very, very famous.
Yeah, but there's one thing I wanted to draw your attention to. It's all based around a disgruntled Scottish animator. They could have just dropped disgruntled and just put Scottish animator. I love it though. It's good. Yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up for a second just because it had a more local connection. That's the extent of my research. But there was other shit on that page actually. Hang on.
Oh, Jesus
I thought for a second the Callum
was real.
No, of course I fucking didn't. Jesus Christ.
My heart sank. I was like, oh no.
Credit me with a bit of fucking. Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thanks a lot, guys. Jesus.
I did have other things on this list, but
man, that was brilliant. Callum.
Take me for a fucking
have
idiot.
Have you seen that I Feel Fantastic video?
No, I haven't. What's that one? Is that all? Is this all another lampoon of me?
Aye. Have you seen the alright, man?
Should we check out this one I found that's definitely real
Martin's
called
joking.
this creepypasta that's definitely real called Ben.
Martin's
Ben creepypasta, but
Yeah,
Haunted Majora.
Ben Brown.
Yeah. Have you done that one though?
Callum's not. Right, alright, Martin, calm down. Right. I've put up the video where I Feel Fantastic.
Is he gonna come out with like a witch's face?
I know.
Right, I feel fantastic, no problem.
Oh wait, there's another photograph as well.
Okay.
which is another famous one.
the killer, guys.
Backseat ghost photograph.
Okay. Backseat freestyle. Okay.
Just go for that instead.
I love that all I wanted to do was point out that fact that it had the Scottish connection and I've now been treated like an idiot.
No, it's not.
Jeez.
Right, alright.
Do you need a minute?
Oh man.
Okay, so this is Peter Cushing driving his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And supposedly this.
All right, and
this fellow.
that's JFK.
He fell in the back.
Again,
man with glasses in the back.
Again, depending on the shutter speed, I'd be tempted to say that it was a result of double exposure.
Well, that guy with glasses in the back seat. That could be anyone.
Yeah, he could just be a guy.
It doesn't look anything like JFK.
A guy with some really.
No,
no, he's the idiot. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously just someone with white eyebrows. It looks like the makeup from the Dick Tracy film. Remember that? Shit film, good makeup.
It's a guy wearing glasses and the light shining on the top of his lenses.
Well, why is it called Ghost Photograph?
Yeah, he's not meant to be there. But I think I saw a thing where people were saying it was like double exposure.
Yeah, because look, he's got the white collar on there, which he has there, which is the most bright part of the rest of it there. I'm just trying to see if there's any other distinctive characteristics. They've both got heads.
Both human beings. You alright now?
Yeah. I was in the middle of drinking like a gulp of beer when it hit me, the hilarity that I said, like, it popped into my head that Callum might like take us to Jeff the Killer and go, guys, I don't want you to get scared now, but this is really freaked me out.
This guy Jeff's out there.
And when
Callum, it's alright.
When I thought of that, like, I couldn't swallow.
You heard about this creepypasta, Ted Bundy?
So,
right, so
do we want to go? I've got
no, but look, can we look at this, right? This is one that most people don't notice as well. See, just behind him to the left.
There's another man with glasses on.
There is the Ted Bundy ghost. See there, just there on the left of him.
You talking about Cal?
Michael, there's another guy there to the left of him. I need to let people see this. So, guys, this is breaking news on Ghastly Tales. The Ted Bundy ghost. Everyone can see to the left of Ted Bundy there. Oh my God! There's a guy on the right as well. He looks like the guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I've got this video. The video that I said I don't know if we should show it.
Yes, show it.
Okay.
Right. What is it?
Go on YouTube.
Okay. We're getting a lot of mileage out of YouTube.
Right.
Guys, you're not getting any of the non-royalties for
and type in EDAREM.
Jack Reaper's here.
And then Pretty
hello Jack.
Pretty Woman.
Okay.
Hello Jack.
Back scratcher.
Oh,
nice.
Oh God.
Enjoy.
Oh, I know about this guy.
Enjoy.
Yes.
Oh, we might get done for the music actually.
Oh shit! Oh yeah. Action stations.
Is this why you didn't want to show it?
And saying that, this video was still going, and this guy is supposedly.
Shh, don't spoil it until the end, right? He's a cute wee old man.
Oh, he's got some annotations.
Let's talk over this copyrighted music. He's definitely got some sultry eyes.
His video was stayed up.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, it might be getting monetized.
Look at this. Oh God.
But you know, looking at that, you think, oh, he's a pretty cool fun for an old guy. He looks like he's having a laugh. He's really
a harmless old grandad.
What happened to his front teeth?
Yeah, well, he got in a fight when he was younger. Nothing major, nothing sexual. Yeah, he was sticking up for his granddaughter.
Oh God.
He was sticking it up his granddaughter.
Oh, there he is. Doing it now.
Oh yes, she's loving it. She's loving it. Fucking Uncle Fester.
This is a ghost.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
Do you want to give the people at home the truth then, Michael?
Well, allegedly, he's a convicted sex offender.
Oh no!
Allegedly, he's a convicted sex offender.
Now he's heating up.
And as part of his release agreement, he wasn't supposed to have a computer. So I think he actually got done for these videos, and he actually passed away. Eventually,
in this video. That's
he's really emotive.
What did he do?
He molested a 14-year-old boy, I think.
That's not cool. Well, it's Pretty Woman he's singing, so he's probably completely innocent in this case.
Aye.
Danger.
Yeah.
Danger, Martin Whitehouse. Danger.
There's another video called I Feel Fantastic. You might want to check this out.
Okay,
Is
cool.
it the same guy?
By him.
No, it's not Ed.
So that there. That's good. How did he
Do we know for sure that he is? Do we have proof that he's a sex offender?
Just supposedly. That's why I'm saying. That's why I didn't want to show it. I said I don't know if we should show it. I feel right there is a second one.
Wait. Type in happiest easy in the world and select the second link. Not scary but very funny. When I got all the one. Jack, you're derailing us. We don't need any help being
Callum
derailed.
to derail us. It's fine. And also me when it
But
fucking hell.
one thing I would very quickly say is, if you ever, there's like a 5-hour live stream of some rave, My Little Pony conference, like a convention, and like 50 minutes through it, 2 guys are carrying a laptop in the background and they fall off stage while the stuff. It's brilliant. It's Darwin at its best. Okay, let's
turn this up.
See what she's got to offer.
Is that an automaton? Or is that a guy inside a...
I think it's an automaton.
Is this copyright?
Should we get some kind of reaction cam on here?
I think you tuned in just as I was scratching my nose. So sorry guys. Flick.
That's not right. Behold our new overlord.
The scariest thing I've ever seen online is...
It's kind of like not quite sure if things are alright. It's going...
Do you not remember what was the name of that video? It's the scariest thing I've ever seen. It was
This is the whole Uncanny Valley setting in, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to set fire to that.
I want to crush your children.
Did Eddie Ren told this thing?
It sort of cuts to something else in a minute though.
I'd have no remorse in smashing that to pieces.
Look. All of a sudden.
But look all the cables running up to it. I could take that out easy.
Right, what was the name of the one? It's the guy or girl in the Playboy bunny outfit. And they're walking towards the camera. It's one of the freakiest things I've ever seen.
The person that's like full on anorexic.
And some other, but it's
they've got that kind of elf. Oh, she's got some kind of jet boots. Jesus.
What was that video?
Yeah, and they've got some like kind of like that elf type syndrome. You know, the one that makes.
You mean dwarfism?
No, not dwarfism.
It's not elf. It's not elf. I trust you. It's not elf. You're a fucking.
No. What's it called?
He's suffering from elfism.
No. It's the one that gets
casting spells.
Shut up. What's the condition that gives people elf-like features?
Shooting bows and arrows.
Shut the fuck up. Right. What's the condition that gives people elf-like features?
Dwarfism.
It's not dwarfism. No, I'm not thinking of that either. It's something else. It's definitely not fucking dwarfism. That gives people dwarf-like features. They're stout. They're good with axes.
No, I'm just shutting her up now.
Yeah, that's too much.
No, that video was
Terror Tomb Chessington World of Adventures.
Go for it, because Chris has mentioned that a couple of times.
Did you know that the what do you call it? The park that was made for Mr. Blobby is now like completely and utterly defunct and abandoned, and they use it as like illegal raves. It's fucking awesome. Sorry, read that again. Terror Tomb Chessington.
I'll try to see if I've got anything.
I'm assuming it's the.
I don't have any drooping features or anything, do I? I've not had a stroke since
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. I think this is just. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, these are all these are all amateur. This is kind of like what do you call it? Pirates of the Caribbean type animatronics, you know, from Disney.
It's Pirates of the Caribbean.
I tell you what, Meek will know.
Mick.
Mick, sorry. This is a bit mental. Yeah, he says Goddess Bunny, she's a polio victim. I think he's right.
Something bunny.
Yeah, Goddess Bunny. Mick, I was going to tell people about the Efteling after this, which me and you have already spoken about, which is a fucking creepy place.
I'd like to see this polio thing, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, she's fucking mental.
Like, by mental, do you mean?
No, it's a shame. No, it is a shame for it, but
Yeah.
it's a creepy video at the same time.
Deliberately, so.
I don't know why she would have. I'm sure I remember reading something where someone said that it was someone else making
That says
videos.
quite.
That's a bitch in solo as well.
Brendan Fraser just jumps out.
Bill and Ted.
After Mad Max Fury Road, every guitar should have flames coming out of it. That's just the way things should happen.
Yeah, the Efteling, that's what I was talking about. That's what I said.
Find the bunny girl.
Yeah,
Goddess Bunny.
With not like the live stream with nothing in it. Unsubscribe.
Shh. I believe. Yes, we're back up. I think
Here
as
we
far
are.
as I know. We're having some serious issues with the YouTube today. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Technical issues.
Computering problems.
So, Goddess Bunny.
Yes, we shall bring her up in a second.
Mate, the scariest thing you've seen then, like sort of viral or urban legend-ish video?
The problem, do you know, I had a bit of a hard time finding videos for this because everything that I found that really impressed me, I think maybe I look into them too much, but everything that I found that I thought was really cool has been so fully debunked.
Yeah.
That I had a hard time finding anything that hadn't been, which is why I ended up using one video that had been and one video that clearly had an easy explanation.
Yeah.
Another one that I saw that I really liked, but which actually turned out was a April Fool's Day gag, was the sewer creature. Have you seen that?
Was that the one?
Videos.
Yeah,
it's from the north of England, and there's like a utility company.
Here she is. This is definitely her.
Right. Okay.
Okay. This is some dark stuff. I will warn people.
We are not mocking anyone with a disability. I'd just like to say that.
But
we're not making them out to be terrifying and
it does make for good viewing.
So was it intended to be scary, or what was the story with this? I don't know.
No, she's just. This is just her.
How old is she?
Well,
I would say like a grown man.
A grown man? What?
I'm sure I read somewhere that he's a guy, but I don't know.
I could potentially see how that could be the case. No, it's E-Bomb's World, but down the bottom is Sign of the Times.
It's pretty amazing though that she can actually do
that.
Because it doesn't appear
I love how
there's
positive you are, Martin. That's amazing.
It is amazing because it doesn't look like she's getting any actual muscle tissue there.
But I remember, I don't know if it's true, but hearing stories about how someone was like, oh, somebody basically kept them in the house and all that, just made videos. I don't know how true that is. I hope it's not true.
No, I'm sure we'd have read about it. We've been in the news if that was true.
Yeah, Jack Reaper said it is a man.
Look how old this is though. This is decades old.
Jack Reaper says it is a man.
Yeah. It's decades old.
So what is polio like?
See, Alan.
My dad's got polio.
Well, he's got it currently.
Well, he suffers from post polio now.
What does it do?
It basically kills your muscle growth. It kills all your muscles. But it tends to do it in one part of your body.
Yeah, she can stand upright with like virtually no muscle tissue at all. It's amazing. There's an interview with her.
Where?
Right there at the top.
Yeah.
52.
Shit, hang on. I need to.
Okay, yeah, transgendered, so it is a she, but
You missed the end of that video though. It was the end of it that was terrifying.
This is probably not the best form to watch the interview. Guys, there's an interview available, but I'm going to skip to this bit that Michael was saying, which is coming up just after that.
That's it.
Is terrifying the right word?
Anyway.
There's no... Is that a clown on the top of her head?
Yeah.
I think that's intentionally creepy.
That's what I mean though. Someone's been like, oh, do this. What's that her though?
On the next one, it looks
on the interview that you saw.
It looks like it could well be. I mean, that looks like it was a few years ago. That's shot on video.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's maybe late 80s. Right, there's this thing that Mick always talk about, which I had
Jack Reaper would still smash it.
Either I had the displeasure or pleasure of going to when I was younger. It's a really weird place, and it's a theme park in the Netherlands, and it's actually made up of like Dutch folklore, but all of them are, with trying to be as tactful as possible, fucking mental. I mean, Mick has had this discussion with me before and agreed with me. The whole place is like really fucking weird.
What, Holland?
No, not Holland.
I was about to say, Jesus.
The Efteling. Like every fucking thing you go around the corner is weird.
I think I've seen a lot of these.
Like the place is really strange. There's a guy with a giant neck that flies up and down.
I think it may have been Mick that actually showed us this a while ago.
But I remember going as an outsider when I was younger, not obviously being able to understand any of the stories behind them, and it's just the whole place is fucking crazy. But it's kind of like their version of Disneyland. It's better than M&D's, which is Scotland's biggest theme park, and it's shit.
A set of swings is better than M&D's.
Yes, that's true. Okay,
so
let's
see some of them then. Did you?
Yeah, sure. I've typed in creepy, but I'm not. The creepiest things aren't really coming up. Half the stuff, maybe we get on the way. Yeah, Nick says it's.
We've got a list here: 10 terrifying YouTube videos.
Oh, look, there's Fu Manchu. There's Christopher Lee. Right, 10 terrifying whats?
Oh, actually, this is good. This will be better. This will because it's a Reddit thread. Which the scariest
Look into some of the stuff of the Efteling anyway, and you will see that the place is absolutely bananas. Maybe Mick knows some of the particular attractions. The only one I can remember is the Foco Rock, which was on a giant phoenix, was actually decent. That wasn't creepy. But there is one where you sit in church pews and it's meant to be like a haunted room, and the whole room like moves round as a result of it. It's mental.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this is dark.
Okay, stand by.
Fire it up on here. Get the Reddit
what is
thread
it?
up here.
Right.
Get the Reddit.
What is it?
It's Reddit.
Well, if you go on YouTube, you probably find them. If
let's get the Reddit thread up here, and then guys online can guys in the thread can shout.
Right.
Okay.
Well, just put in top
Reddit.
What's the scariest / creepiest video on the internet? And you just put Reddit, and it should come up. The scariest / creepiest video on the internet. So the first one is about an answering machine message that.
Can I very quickly jump into the chat? Andy's just made a point about Alton Towers. Has anyone read about that at the moment?
Yeah,
it's horrific. Basically,
is that big accident?
Yeah, on a ride called the Smiler, which is unlikely to never open again. Apparently, a train or a carriage full of patrons managed to basically collide with a static, empty carriage, and it's absolutely horrendous. Like, there's a 17-year-old girl that's lost her legs and everything. It's just unreal. Mick's saying there's a point where the Efteling couldn't really pay for the upkeep, so everything was pretty run down, made it extra nasty. Yeah, I can imagine it. Lamito's here as well. Hello, sir.
Hello. So here we go with the first one. I'd go with the answering machine message the original Night Stalker left.
Oh shit! Yeah.
This was the guy. Especially since
this was the guy that was the East Area rapist.
Since he's never been identified.
This guy. No,
so this is Kolchak.
No.
This guy for like years was breaking into people's houses and raping women, and he was using in California they have those big dry canals. He was using them to get around instead of streets because there's a huge network of them because obviously nobody sees you if you use those to get around.
Let's play it.
He started off as a rapist and he's built up and become a serial killer, and he's still never been caught.
Well, it's good he's forward moving.
Yeah, but this is
built up from a rapist to a serial killer.
He's left an answering machine message on one of his rape victims.
It's Darth Vader.
Sounds like a kid.
You can hear stuff going on in the background.
Music.
No, but it's even before that. It sounded like someone talking.
What does he say? What does he say at the end there?
Them putting the music over it's annoying, but you can actually hear someone like a TV almost in the background.
Yeah.
It's really hard to discern. I wish they hadn't put the fucking...
Did we talk about the one before with the Asian girl in the left?
Why does that say Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker?
Because he's a serial killer known as the Night Stalker. Yeah.
Alright.
Did we do that? What was the name of her again? If the girl in the elevator, and then her body was found in the water tank.
What's this? Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. It's but just type into YouTube, Cam.
I'm just gonna see if there's any information about the.
Yes, because we get all of our reliable information.
No, but sometimes you get people that have transcribed shit.
One thing about that.
Put in the YouTube.
Do you know how they know this guy? That see the original Night Stalker.
Girl elevator.
Girl elevator. What was it, Martin?
Girl elevator. There you go. So her name's Tam something.
Right.
Girl elevator.
Yep. There you go. Thanks, YouTube.
Welcome to the weird part of YouTube.
I've seen that video as well. It was fucking horrific.
Oh god.
Anyway, she became like a sensation overnight.
Was it used or was it just?
I seem to remember it was. Yeah.
But anyway. Jesus Christ.
Cool, and it's ever lingering there. So hurry up, girl elevator. Yeah.
Elevator. Tam.
Someone's saying it's Eliza Lamb.
Lamb, sorry, okay.
Yeah, so the original Night Stalker, do you know how they know it's one guy? Do you know what the one distinguishing trait that everyone that's been attacked by him can give?
No.
That he has a micro penis.
Yeah.
He has a really, really small dick, so yeah, small dick guys.
Seen his Chikatilo then?
Was he a small dick guy?
Oh, he impregnated his wife by inserting his digits into her, yeah.
Right,
I get a feel this video's gonna get flagged.
Do the second one below.
This one here?
Aye.
That one's a bit shorter. Canadian tourist death. There's probably not any audio for this, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, so
if it's an elevator cam.
Her body was found in the hotel water tank, which is eerily close to the film Dark Water. But it's the way she's moving her limbs.
Tourist?
She's moving her limbs here. And
Wait.
she also looks as if...
Internet Ghost says, I actually live a few hours away from where the East Area rapist stuff happened. It's still brought up from time to time around here.
But look, did you see what she did there? She stuck her head out. It's as if she thinks she's
seen someone.
And then you see her moving her limbs in a very strange way. Now it could be that she's mentally ill, and then somehow she's ended up in the water.
I don't know if Mick's saying this as a joke, but Mick's saying that people have drank the water for a week.
That's true. People have been drinking the water, and they've been turning on the tap, and like black stuff was coming out, and they thought there was some like problem with the water pipes and shit, and it was only after they'd been drinking the water for a week and bathing in it that they realised this girl had been in. I think it was more than a week.
Arms, yeah.
Apparently Jack Reaper said that the actual water tank was almost impossible to get into.
I mean,
So is the belief that
obviously
she's
Yeah.
out or not? Yeah.
Oh, for not medical explanation. She's plumb dandy. She's a dafty. She's blown a gasket.
Giggle it.
Charlie Chalk wants the tampon video. In your own time, Charlie. It's not that great. She's a bit of a whale. Not that it would make any difference.
Look at her hands. Look at her arms.
That's pretty. That reminds me of that puppet video. Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's really eerie.
The lid weighed a ton and there was no sign of having disturbed it. There was locked gates. Supposedly, a lot of odd things have happened to that hotel in the past.
She could have been drugged by someone. That's the other thing.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, if there was locked gates, it's got to be in some way someone that's got access to the tank and like a clerical, you know, like a janitor or something like that. Serial killer lived in the hotel as well. Fuck. So how long is she away from the camera?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Long enough for the lid.
Right. Someone has posted on this that one of the videos is called "I Have the Body of a Pig."
Okay.
And it's on YouTube. But that poor girl, God knows what happened to her.
How would you know that the lid had been disturbed? I mean, people when they lose their mind, they can do crazy.
Well, I would have imagined that had they said it was impossible for her to get in there, that they would have said, well, it's obviously murder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but if her death is
Mick says she's coming back.
Not been ruled.
Oh, is this on now?
It's coming home. It's coming.
That's just strange. It does seem to be that. I mean, the drug thing makes a lot of sense with the kind of slightly exaggerated movements and everything. That would be something.
You lied, Mick.
Yeah, no.
I have the body of a pig.
Mick did it.
And if it's
In February?
If it's something bad, jump away from it immediately. I have the body of a pig.
Oh. Well. This one here has got 400.
It's an EVP.
Huh?
Electronic voice phenomenon. So it's a recorded message.
Okay.
From the other side.
I'm just coming through the old book, there'll be a body in there. Or a chopping in two. East what so far? East wind. You get it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the body.
That sounded like a microphone. That sounded like
it does. Sounds
like a walkie-talkie.
It does. I tell you something. One of the creepiest things I have ever heard was on and I don't know if you can find it on YouTube. Right. Have I told you this one before, man? It was.
Oh, it's good lord! It's TV. It's an end.
Right. So obviously bullshit. Anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty creepy.
Yeah. Anyway, so
next.
There was a one night, right? I used to stay up until all hours, all the time, right?
Rebel.
Rebel, right? So it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'd left the TV on. I was sitting at the computer, and the BBC would often repeat programmes at that time, but with people doing sign language.
Okay,
right?
Electrician.
So that people, no, not BBC, right? So that people with hearing problems could then record them and watch them.
Wait, I think I know this one.
So anyway, I just left it on, and it was this programme that had obviously been shown during the day. And it was one of these programmes about property and
like Homes Under the Hammer.
Yeah,
or
it was that sort of thing, right? So, but it went to this family who wanted to move out.
Yeah.
And they said that they petitioned the council and all that, and they'd said that The reason they wanted to move out was because there was something in the house.
Okay.
And the people involved with making the program, they supposedly put a recording device in one of the rooms where supposedly things had been happening. The family were all sleeping downstairs.
Yeah.
They were all sleeping together in the living room because they were so frightened. And the recorder had been left on, and I just remember like it was really disturbing. It was like the sound of like an old woman choking. But it was really.
They showed this?
Then there was a
hammer.
no, but it was something like that.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. And then it was, but it also there was like there was like a voice. There was a voice of someone. There was a voice of an old man saying something like, "My name's Bill, and I died." You know,
I have
really,
heard stuff about
really
the guys on the
unsettling.
graveyard shift though at the broadcasters doing shit like that because they can get away with more at that time of night.
Yeah, but what you're saying is this was repeat, so presumably it was during the day as well.
It was like a daytime program that you would be sitting watching.
I know, but did it happen during the day as well, or just at night?
No, because it was like it wasn't just like edited over it. It was they were showing you them actually going. It wasn't like you were watching a program. All of a sudden, someone's went
like an intrusion, like so.
You know, like I get what you mean. Sometimes programmers have a bit of fun. Like I always remember pissing myself laughing because I hit the information button on Clive Anderson Talks Back, and it was like about 2 o'clock in the morning, and the description said he of the extended forehead. Someone's actually written that, but I don't know if you'd be able to find that. But anyway, this list of other videos, right? The Wyoming incident.
Okay.
That was my fate.
Are we only doing footage of events, or are we doing things that like that don't have a recording, but that?
That's right. Well, if you've got urban legend stuff you want to talk about, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's see the Wyoming incident first.
Is this it, mate? 2 million views.
Must be.
Does say creepypastas.
Filming today, making him the first to visit in preparation for the 2008 general election. Republican President Jackson.
Well, that's a fake transition for a start. Of Max Headroom creeping at the top there.
Was this a genuine intrusion?
They're saying that this was similar to the Max Headroom thing. It was actually broadcast over, but I don't know how real that is.
You'd shit yourself though, wouldn't you, if this came on?
Yeah, like 2 a.m. You're sitting.
I reckon STV Glasgow is a tin pot enough operation that we could take it out. We shouldn't take the piss out of it because it could we could actually very easily get on it.
This guy is obviously a curator of odds and
odd shit.
He's written an absolute mega post of links to different creepy things.
I'm not that creeped out by this.
No,
but we're desensitized.
If you were sitting watching something at 2 o'clock in the morning,
and this came up.
Yeah.
You know, you. Fuck, maybe I am.
There's a video called "I Am Your Grandma" that he's put.
Should we skip ahead a wee bit?
You can hear the microphone as if they're messing about with the mic.
Yeah.
One here, guy slows down a 1960s US government PSA and finds subliminal messages.
Mitt Romney also plans on visiting Denver and Cheyenne on his presidential tour.
Right, what's this one?
Guy slows down. So put in PSA 1960s subliminal messages.
What is the urban legend about the arcade cabinet that supposedly
Polybius?
Yeah, that turned up in certain places and
What was that second?
yeah, it was an arcade cabinet that turned up in certain places and no one's ever found any
Oh, they're not doing
footage
a
of
they're
it.
doing a documentary.
Yeah,
about it,
they
right?
never found footage or boards of it, and rumour has it was always accompanied at certain points by suited men.
Yeah,
and
the rumour was it showed up in the Portland area in the US in various arcades. This game, which was apparently similar to Tempest, you know the game Tempest, but was really weird and had strange sound effects, strange visual effects, and caused headaches in the people that played it, and caused strange behaviour apparently as well. And yeah, again, apparently these guys in black suits would show up and collect information from it.
Right.
Rumour has it was all like testing and stuff that
Yeah.
they used. There's like it was really psychedelic, the game and everything. It would kind of fuck people up. I'm assuming this is it.
Not the arcade one, just the...
No. Now the thing is, how do you know some of these aren't bullshit?
I'm not hearing anything.
No, look at the text as it scrolls out.
Yeah.
Watch the text.
Oh, right. Oh, no way!
Mind you, that's very clear, that text, and that's been overlaid over the top of it. At which point, I don't know if they're trying to make it out that they've cleaned the text up, but that's modern text, that's been added on in post.
The thing is, there has been some interesting subliminal messages put into things before, but...
Coca-Cola used to use subliminal advertising.
Polybius was the name of the cabinet, yeah. But it's good that a couple of the guys in the chat are saying that they know it as well.
There's one called I Am Your Grandma.
Okay.
Put down as creepy.
What you need to search for is grandma pics.
No, don't. I Am Your Grandma.
This one?
It looks
4
like
years ago?
It looks like something bullshit. I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah. YouTubers react to farting preacher. This looks kind of bullshit, isn't it?
One day,
Ah, yes.
I'm gonna have a baby. And you will call her mom.
That's
That
bullshit.
baby.
It's bullshit, mate.
We've been juked.
There's one here, Filipino video.
Hang
of
on, we've got one from
monster
Jack Reaper here. UVB76
Oh,
radio
yeah,
station.
yeah.
Very weird, just weird Russian words and beeps. No one knows what it actually is or where it's coming from. The theory is as
Similar
if
to
it
number
stops the
stations,
Russian
yeah.
nuclear arsenal will deploy. Launch like a dead man's switch.
Yeah. Number stations.
Let's see
You
if we can
guys know
find the
about
sound
number
of
stations?
this. Yeah, I've heard about some of them. UVB76.
There's also one called The Buzzer, which you should check out after this. No, UVB76 is The Buzzer, is it?
UB40.
Red
But
wine.
So wait, this, right, you'd think this is some digitally generated noise, wouldn't you, right? But actually what they've been able to isolate, voices in the background of this, which seems to show that it's actually a noise-making device with a mic held up to it, and when technicians and that are walking around the background having conversations, you can faintly pick up. See if you type in UVB76 conversations.
Because it reminds you of something that I lost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or a woman's scream.
It seems to mainly be a buzzer.
What was the one about? Not that I wanted to go away from this because it's really interesting, but what was the one about the song that's get the scream of the woman getting murdered next door?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
There's a song that I don't know if it's just an urban myth or not, but I remember playing the song.
Yeah.
And supposedly there was a woman murdered by either someone connected with the band or something like that, but in the room next door. Wow. And it was like, it's not like a heavy metal band trying to drum up advertising or anything like that. It was like
legit
funk or something like that. It was. Fuck me. Are these supposedly voices or people?
No, but there are actually ones where there's just technicians having a conversation in the background.
Yeah, the number stations are a slightly weird one. It's great.
So what is the supposed?
No one really knows.
Well,
Jack, the thing is something related to. There's some talk that it's a dead man switch, that if it stops, that the Russian military will fire its missiles, because like that, that would be the first thing to be knocked out, sort of thing. So we know if that goes, then they can fire the missiles. But the kind of more mundane explanation is that it's just it's a frequency used by the Russian military, and they put a buzzer on the frequency to stop other people using it. Right. Because it's constantly noise on it. But wait, hold on. UVB-76, there's definitely ones where you can hear conversations.
But here's the urban legend about the song. The song "Love Roller Coaster" has a persistent urban legend. During an instrumental portion of the song, a high-pitched scream is heard. This was Billy Beck, but according to the most common legend, it was the voice of an individual being murdered live while the tape was rolling. The victim's identity varies greatly depending on the version, so obviously it's bullshit. Then the supposed sources of the scream have included an individual who was killed at some prior time, her scream inexplicably recorded and looped into the track. Another version says that a girl has fallen off the roller coaster and was screaming to her death. Another version tells of a rabbit being killed outside the studio whose scream was accidentally picked up by the band's recording equipment. Highly implausible since professional recording studios are soundproof. But I remember seeing that and being a bit freaked out by it. But
that's quite a freaky one if it was true. I know that was true in a couple of the Manson's albums.
So I've got.
Proves you just go and listen to me.
Yes. So I got. So there's other ones here. There's one that is a Filipino creature.
Okay.
I don't know, put in Filipino creature.
Careful. Warning.
Oh wait, okay, but we'll put like a supposed ghost filmed in an abandoned Iraqi school.
Why is that funny? That title, supposed ghost filmed in abandoned Iraqi school. What a catchy title. That's Centralia. That is the. Have you ever seen Centralia, by the way?
It's the town with the fire underneath.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, it's a coal mine underneath that caught fire. If you ever watch footage for it, it's very, very creepy. I don't
really eerie.
Ghost. I can't. Is this it?
That must be.
It's
only 17 seconds long.
I'll bring up some footage of Centralia. It probably is, mate. Fucking bullshit. Okay, there's been some absolutely beautiful footage that some people have taken of it, but you can basically there's literally a fire still going on underneath it, and there's a handful of people that refuse to leave.
There's a coal mine underneath the town. Yeah, there was an explosion in the coal mine,
and people refuse to leave.
You might know, but the people
I know it's fine.
there was an explosion in the coal mine, so like the millions of tons of coal are now underground burning. So there's
There was
all
a
these
guy-
toxic fumes blowing
This
up out the
guy
air.
says weird homemade footage of a British ghost. One of my favourite videos. If you watch only one, make it this one.
I'm trying to
It's
remember the
really
name of
short, but good.
There was the name of a dude.
A British ghost. Is it, imagine him coming out, like a ghost coming out with like Union Jack shirt and everything on, like Alf Garnett.
Sure, there was a guy.
Jesus was English.
I'm sure there was a guy called Steve Pagoda that did a video on it. Sorry if I'm getting his name wrong. He did a video. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Steve Bog. He did one. Yeah, he did one ages ago with his girlfriend. And it's really but I did it deliberately because it's got copyright music on it.
Alright.
But if this chooses to load, fucking YouTube, you dick. Yeah. So yeah, the rumor has it there was always people that had flat out refused to leave the place. What is going on? YouTube, just because you're giving us a free avenue to stream doesn't mean you can make us look like idiots. I love that every other bit. Oh, there we go. Fuck, and that's it. Just as I hit refresh, trying to make me look like an idiot. But yeah, you can still see the fire kind of coming out the ground and everything, and oh my god,
I'm really curious to see what this is. If he says out of all of these videos, this is the one you need to watch.
Yeah, we'll get it in a sec. I'm just trying to get this video to load up. So the entire road network and everything is just literally being completely destroyed on the way up to the town.
Did they not say that it'll burn for thousands of years?
Yeah, because it's in a massive coal seam underneath it. And yeah, there's obviously people have turned up subsequently and drawn like pentagrams and shit on the ground, as you can see there, which obviously weren't caused by it. Obviously there's a slight bit of art embellishment and the guy's trying to prove that he's got a girlfriend, but the entire like road's just been torn up by it, and physically in the town as well there's a ton of shit.
That smoke looks almost fake on that shot though.
Yeah,
but I know there's bits of it where there's tons of it.
But this is the whole thing, and this
the fact that people slowly but surely had to leave the town.
Yeah, but there was tons of people that it was their the only place they'd ever lived in, and as a result they kind of just refused to leave. What's the name of this other
There's
video?
the irony as well that it's called Centralia and it's like in the abandoned place in the middle of nowhere.
I'm just looking, hold on. The name of the video. The name of the video is "Scary Ghost of a Girl in House."
Brilliant.
Sometimes you just gotta go with the classics, don't you?
Scary Ghost of a Girl in House.
My house is haunted.
No, wait a minute. Scary Ghost. It's called "Scary Ghost of a Girl in House."
Yeah, but it might not be the most popular video. That's the problem. How many
don't just do it, but just do it by relevance then, rather.
There she is.
Are you sure? I don't think so.
Is that it up there or?
I told you I seen something.
That.
Oh, that's spooky.
See? No, I'm back going phone red. What's it? See? What did I say? Oh my god, what did I say? No, shush, no.
Right, okay, that was not worth it.
Nah, cool.
Well, that was the best ghost I've
I
seen
no
all year.
longer trust this gentleman's opinion.
You no longer.
Of course, the best one of all is Pipes.
Oh fuck.
Gentlemen, I'm going to have to head up the road shortly.
Pipes.
Well,
This is copyright material. This is BBC television.
Danger! As soon as Michael Parkinson comes out, our transmission will just end.
Did you have any other urban legends that you wanted to talk about?
I did want to talk about the what's it again, the black stick man phenomenon.
Yeah, this is the ability, people's inability to draw. You were saying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So let me just fire up my.
God, did you just put your fingers in my mouth?
No, I didn't.
Again.
Sorry.
Yeah. So basically, about 2009. When was it? 2008. There was a post that might have been on Reddit. I can't remember. Where someone wrote that when they were a child, they remembered always seeing like stick figures around the place. Like,
good catch. Good catch.
They remember just like randomly as they were going about their daily business, they would see stick men just following about. Not even bothering with them, just walking about as if like going about their normal business. And from that post.
Sorry, for 2 seconds, I want to bring up the fact that Internet Ghost said the only scary thing about that was how shaky the camera was. Yeah. That's a fair point. Carry on.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Trying to build dread.
Yeah,
he's trying to build dread.
I'm trying to engage people that are bothered watching.
Callum comes in.
You'll need more.
I've lost my train of thought now.
Don't tell me where to sit in my own house. Fuck
Don't
you.
sit over there.
Carry on.
So, from this original post, loads of people have come out of the woodwork saying, fuck, I thought I was just imagining things, but when I was a kid I used to see the same thing. And it just strikes me as kind of weird. I'm not really sure what to make of it. It doesn't really fit into any standard supernatural trope. It's not like,
but how do you
ghost,
describe
it's
them?
not a vampire. Where are we? Okay, so...
But this is all kind of people saying that in their childhood they saw.
Mostly, yes.
Because obviously kids are very susceptible to this.
The detail. So this is from a site. This is from a website called ghosts.org. Okay, so it's obviously a really a serious thing.
Spooky.com.
What I was coming at really there for a second was that they don't really fit into any of the standard tropes of the supernatural. They're not associated with UFOs. They're not really considered like ghosts. They're not considered any of the existing sort of monsters. It's almost a new arrival on the scene, which is what makes it interesting. The details of what little there are, that credit goes to ghost.org, of course, about these creatures / apparitions seem to be consistent from story to story. The appearance usually takes place along a deserted road or in an alleyway away from bright lights and prying eyes. The person encountering the stick men more times than not report being tired. The figures move smoothly as if gliding. They do not make any sounds, although the air around them is charged with static. The actual stick men themselves seem indifferent to us unless provoked, or if they realise that they have been spotted. They will then flee quickly, or in some rare instances will approach quickly in a frightening display of aggravation. However, there have been no reported incidents of anyone being touched or harmed by these mysterious beings. The only indications of their intent have been reports of vague feelings of malevolence, although some feel this has to do with the disturbances in atmospheric or barometric pressures that often accompany a sighting. Are they paranormal? Who is to say? Most of the accounts are not associated with a known haunted spot, and most sightings are not tied to any other ghostly phenomenon. Now, to me,
Jack says that if someone got attention for saying they saw blue ninjas with 11 heads, plenty of other people would say it as well. It's a fair point.
True, but I don't know. There is something. I think there's something eerie about
I've always found it seems, we said this before, that it's very similar to the whole shadow people thing, where a lot of people claim to have seen it, especially when they're children, and then but then some people see it as adults. I mean, I saw some things when I was a kid, and I know a couple of people.
Well, you've written about them extensively.
No, I have, but I'm very sceptical about it.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm completely open to the idea that these things are just some sort of psychological phenomenon. At the same time, those experiences can be so profound. I had an experience once. I don't know did I talk about this in the last live stream?
I don't know what you're going to say.
There was a few. I can't tell you the future.
Was it already about bedtime?
There were a few things that happened to me.
So it was a happy time for a child.
There were a few things that happened to me when I was a kid, but one of them I always remember. And this sounds ridiculous, right? So I'm very, very willing to put it down to false memory.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really make sense.
You're willing to put it down to bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But
you never show your uncle again.
The suburb where I grew up, there is a churchyard and cemetery, right? And it's very old. I don't know when it dates back to, but it's certainly several hundred years. And I used to always go for these walks with my dad when we were younger, and I was always fascinated by graveyards, and we would walk to some of these graveyards and we'd go around and we'd go to like the necropolis in town and stuff like that. But we went to this one, and I remember my dad sort of wandering off looking, because I was always fascinated at the oldest graves. That for some reason that always captured my imagination. And there was, you know how it was like a grave, but it was flat. It was like the flat stone with the writing on it, as if something that you would normally see in like a church.
Yeah.
You know, as someone that'd been notable.
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember kneeling down and leaning next to it. And this sounds so nonsense, right? But this is I have this memory in my head. There was a piece of cloth sticking out from it, and I tugged on it, and I heard a groan, and I shat myself and ran to my dad. Right?
I actually shat yourself.
Fortunately, I had the cloth.
Are you sure your dad didn't go pull my finger out and you've just?
That's a whole new meaning on the word touching cloth.
But I'll give you like one thing as well. See, when you're like when you're a kid, you can always really creep yourselves out very easily. And there was another time where my dad was a social worker, and he would take troubled kids on group activities and things like that. We'd go fishing, go to different places and stuff like that, and they'd have like a big minivan. And in the summer, because we didn't have like a daycare or anything like that, my dad would take me to his work, so I would be with these kids, and some of them were really troubled, right? But it was an interesting experience. But we were coming back once from a fishing trip with a bunch of them, and I was there, my brother was there, and there were a bunch of other kids really needed to pee. So I always remember we got out of the van, and we climbed over this wee fence. It was in the middle of nowhere. And there was, in fact, it wasn't really a proper fence. It was the remnants of a fence. And there was like an old cottage, and it was ruined. It was completely ruined. And I always remember we went over there and had a wee look at it. And this is what I remember someone saying to me and thinking that's exactly what that is. Was in the door that was basically half wrecked. There was a big claw mark on it.
Fuck.
And we all like ran to the kid, but it was probably just children
messing about, getting a story up. But there was a scratch on it.
But but I always that's always stayed with me.
One before we go.
I've got a couple, so don't shut it down just yet.
Well, Mike needs to go.
No, we can.
But
Mick's
given us one, so it's all on him if it's shit.
Where's the rocking? Oh yeah, okay.
The one that's rocking.
The one with the servo underneath.
Why are they taping it?
Because apparently the babysitter was stealing stuff from underneath the chair, apparently. Oh fuck, I hadn't spotted it before, thanks.
Aye. On the bottom. Why do I feel like Mick is giving us a screamer?
I get that feeling as well.
Oh, it is. I've seen this. It's a screamer. Mick, you're a dick. It's a screamer. I know it is.
I think we can debunk this one.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can say.
Is he got Wellingtons on? That's what I want to know.
Really rubbish ghost.
Sorry guys, sorry.
So you were going to say, Martin, you had a story.
Yeah, I don't know if I spoke about this in a previous live stream, but I used to live in a house in Dunoon that.
Dunoon, it's a bonny wee tune. I just sat up and I'm going to sit down.
Never heard that before. That's amazing. How did I live there for years?
Can you work the word?
I didn't. No,
yes.
I genuinely have never heard.
My dad always used to say it to me, and I said it to someone from Dunoon, and they were like, "Where did you hear that?" Like it was like it was some kind of magic thing. It's just like Rabbi Burns was born in there, and you want to see him stone in there, just take a car and pay the fare. It's like, all right, Dad.
Well, anyway, so it was a kind of strange wee house. It was very kind of dingy. I always remember, but
there was a lot of love.
There was a lot of love, but I remember there was this wee room at the back where I had my Nintendo, so obviously spent a lot of time there. And it looked out into the back garden, and at the particular corner of the back garden it looked out into had a garage, like an old garage. I think I might have mentioned this at a previous live stream, but with a pair of swing doors that opened out like that, right? It wasn't like one of those roll up or fold up garage doors. And at the far end of that, there was like a strange sort of tank, like a big, not like a tank you drive about in, but like a kerosene tank, I think it was.
You don't need to keep saying garage if you want to say petrol station, mate. We don't mind.
So you used to turn the tap on this thing, and like some kind of oil substance would come out. I don't know what it was for. Maybe it was for the days when people had paraffin lamps or stuff, but it still had the fluid in it. That's irrelevant to the story. It was just on the last side.
The grass was green.
But I remember playing my Nintendo one day and then looking out. I seen something in the corner of my eye and looking out, and it was full daylight, and the garage door was the wood was kind of old and sort of rotten, and there was a kind of chain lock on the front of it, but the doors had a little bit of give in it, so they could kind of rattle a little bit even when the doors were closed. And I saw this kind of black canine arm, like a forepaw of a dog, huge, reach out from inside and kind of claw at the outside of the wood, or try to. It was kind of funny angle. It was trying to kind of claw at the outside of the wood.
As if it was trying to get at the lock.
As if it was trying to, like, it was trapped inside and it was just clawing to get out.
And you were like, I had no opposable thumbs, no chance.
So I thought, that's what the fuck? Like, I thought, well, this was kind of in the 90s, so at that point, you still would sometimes see dogs just going about on their own. They weren't always on a lead, which nowadays you
They've all got jobs now.
They've all got jobs now. You never see a dog on its own now, but in those days, you would just sometimes see a dog walking about as if it had somewhere to be. You know, so
with his wee hat on.
His suitcase.
Sorry, I can't stop to speak, man.
That's another good story.
There's a paper to run.
But I've got my business to do.
Briefcase.
Yeah, dog's business meant something different.
Toodaloo, Martin.
That's Rash. I'm meeting Bill.
Okay, that's the end of that. Sorry. So that was really strange. So I went out, unlocked the door, and looked inside. There was nothing inside. The garage was empty, and around that part of the garden, there was always strange vibes and strange stuff would happen. There was that tank that I previously talked about. One time, my mum asked me to come out into the garage to look for something. It was kind of night. It wasn't night time, but it was dusk. It was get that kind of deep dark. There was no light in the garage, so she couldn't. I can't for the life of me remember what it was. But she asked me to come out and help her look for it because it was dark and she needed someone, a second pair of eyes, basically. And I went out with her. And I remember looking up, and at the far end of the garage there was like a window, but it was quite high up, right? And but it looked out onto that tank, and you could see the sky, like a sliver of sky over the top. Not a sliver of sky, actually. You could see like about half of the window was the tank, and half of it was the sky. And when I looked up, I could see like a figure of a man or a woman, could have been sitting cross-legged on top of the tank, making like weird hand signals, like doing sort of like, you know, like as if. Like,
what, like an Egyptian?
More like you know the guys that wave an aircraft like.
Well, there were a lot of fumes from that kind of
No. And I said to my mum, like, Mum, there's some guy out there waving at us, and she was like, "Mark, don't be ridiculous," and like chased me, like, you're basically sent me into the house. I think she was a bit freaked out. Yeah. But there was like loads of wee things like that would happen around that corner, and it just another thing was my bedroom also backed up to the same kind of end of the house. And my wee sister used to get these terrible nightmares, and but she wouldn't get the nightmares if she was sleeping anywhere else, right? So one night she kept having these nightmares. My mum said, like, there was only one, like, me and my sister shared a bedroom at that point. She was very young. She was only like 3 or 4, and my mum made me swap beds with her. And I remember sort of waking up thinking, oh, I think I had a weird dream, but I'm not quite sure. And then, like, lying in the dark, kind of picking at the wall, like just picking at the wall for some reason, right? And under the wallpaper, at the corner of the wallpaper, there was something. I pulled that big long hair that came out from the plaster. So I started picking more, and
nothing
kept
to do
pulling
with
it.
Sister, was it?
No. It was in the plaster, like, and over time, like, I used to pick away at it, and there would be more hairs. I've since found out that apparently in the old days they used to put horse hair in through the plaster, but at that time I was convinced there was a severed head buried inside that wall. And my mum used to have really weird night. We used to see things in the corner of your eye, like do that in the corner of your eye as well. But I think maybe it might have been something to do with maybe the pattern in the wallpaper, like a kind of moire effect maybe in the corner of your eye. But yeah, there was a lot of really kind of strange things about that house.
Did I ever tell you about the crop scythe at mine?
No.
Oh, this is fucking absolute peach, right? So my parents bought a house when I was about 6. I moved from Glasgow out into the countryside, and they bought like a kind of an old stone house. Lovely house. You never felt anything kind of malevolent about the place. It used to be a station master's house and a hotel as well. It was like there's a lot of history to the place. Good couple of 100 years old at least. And the previous owner died in my room and stuff like that, but you never felt anything bad about the place. But we went out to the stables, and there was one time where, I mean, we'd literally just been there. I was still exploring it, and it was great from that point of view. I was kind of exploring the house, and you know, there was a fair bit of ground and stuff to it as well. That's kind of the reason my parents got it, because I could run around, because I was a fucking maniac when I was younger. Still am, but anyway, I was fucking about in the potting shed, and there was a lot because there was a potting shed at one end, and on the other end there was literally an old stables, and I was mucking about in the stables, and you could find horseshoes all over the place. And there was one bit, like there was horseshoes like all on the ground and stuff, but there was one bit that was a horseshoe hanging on the wall, and it was kind of stuck, and I pulled it, and in pulling it I heard something move, and a scythe swung down from the rafters and missed me by about this much.
Mom, a scythe just came out the rafters. Shut up, Callum.
Stuck into the wall next to me. It still sits in the rafters of the stables, but it swung down and it must have missed me by a couple of inches.
Why was it in the rafters?
Because that's where they kept it up. There was a whole ton of really.
Was
old...
it connected to the horseshoe? Like when you pulled it, was there some connection?
No, there was
a booby trap. For
I must have pulled it.
That your dad said.
Nobody's getting their hands on my
horseshoe. Never touch that hot shoe.
That's it. But I must have pulled it and kind of just shield it, and that was enough to have it swing down. But it missed me. But there's a ton of like old milk jugs and stuff in it as well. There's a lot of character in it, but the scythe's still there. And there's a couple of times I've taken it out and fucked about with it, and it's ace. It's a it's a two-handed massive wooden scythe, like proper Grim Reaper-esque, and it's fucking amazing at chopping stuff down.
But it's funny how any place that has a sense of history to it,
you immediately
tends to evoke feelings of a presence or weight. But again, that easily could just be a psychological acknowledgement of
my thought on the stickman thing. You know, like we're really prone to seeing faces, like pareidolia. We see faces and things.
Well, that's
I guess
first response.
And I guess another thing we're prone to seeing is a human figure. And maybe as a child with their imaginations like kind of run a bit and not being able quite to tell the difference between imagination and reality quite as much as adults do, maybe we're more prone to seeing just the template.
Even
just
in
imagination
sometimes
replace the template. So like you know, the black stickman, we draw a stickman because that is our archetypal sort of Jungian template for a human being.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to sleep tonight.
That's it.
Or maybe it's another dimension bleeding into ours. That's the kind of
it's
paranormal
that guy
theory.
that called up. You're right.
The paranormal theory is that there's like they appear when there's a thinning of the dimensional walls, and there's creatures from another dimension that we see just doing their own thing.
But then some people also say, like, have you ever seen like the stone tapes, like that?
What's the guy's name again? I forget. There was a guy that proposed it. No, there was a guy that originally. What was it? He was an archaeologist. He basically said that under certain conditions,
it's like a recording.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's
not as ridiculously far fetched as you think. No, it is quite far fetched. But the idea that information could be stored in the magnetic field of certain materials. There might be somewhere like that. I'm not saying that means you could then see
what to me
out.
makes there's a few things that make that a bit of a jump. Like one of the things that said like under certain weather conditions and under certain we're surrounded by certain geology materials that like emotion could be recorded in the stones or
that's
the weather.
A massive leap.
It's a huge leap because what is doing the recording? How is that staying there for decades and how is it being replayed?
But what I'm saying is that I'm just talking about the idea of recording information. At least that point is not is not ridiculous because
Well,
we do
people
that
record
anyway.
information in stone and they go.
Yeah.
Do you know
Pure
something?
lies.
Do you know something though? Do you know what my dad said to me? Like, I've got ADHD, and as a child, like, I had a fucking mental imagination. I was always thinking about things, and there was one time I was always convinced about the
Cam telling us about his scythe. It's Monday night again.
But I was always like convinced of like paranormal, and I was seeing stuff. And I remember one time, I was saying to my dad, "What are ghosts?" And he says, "Ghosts are just overlappings of different dimensions." Right? So
your dad said
that's what he said to me, right?
Okay.
That,
Right, well, son.
no, but that's what he said to me, right? He said because he knew that the only way to get me to stop thinking about something was to overload me with something that I couldn't possibly comprehend
if you feel
myself.
afraid,
So he said
that draws them closer.
So he just said,
The
and he said,
dead
and he said that they exist in a different dimension and they can't touch you. And
Unless
I was like,
you fear them.
fair enough. And then after that, I never had
Unless,
any
of
problems.
course, there's a fracture.
Unless they're cross-dimensional,
Unless
which
there's
is your fuck.
Unless there's a fracture in the space.
Oh,
can't
there seems to be a crack in the ceiling.
But you
night
know,
anyway, Callum.
But you know, son, that hardly ever happens.
At which point, don't wake me up. You're already dead.
Yeah, but I used to be fascinated with the idea of shadow people just simply because
I don't really know much about it. I've never really.
Well, the idea.
You tell that I'm going to go for piss, right?
Well, I need to see it back.
Well, tell it to me.
Just do it in the bottle. Do it in the bottle.
I'm gonna get a picture of this scythe, by the way. Put it up.
Do it in the
I
bottle.
think people will like it.
Let's talk about something else while Martin goes and does it.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll do the shadow people.
How you been doing? You keeping alright?
Aye, good.
And that?
Good.
Just
Good.
up to different things
Just-
and got activities and that.
Aye,
And, yeah.
just getting people constantly adding zeros onto things.
Aye. Oh yeah, is this all part of the wedding?
Oh,
In many ways, 9 people watching. There's probably above 10 at one point. Yes, cashback jet. We're just back actually from Michael's stag do. It was really good. We had a great time, and there was some spooky goings on that night, mainly caused by us running through and scaring the fuck out of the locals.
I know. Callum ended up in the river.
Yeah, well, I always end up in the river. I'm part aquatic.
Immediately. No, it was good.
It was good. I will take a picture of this scythe and put it on the Facebook page.
You should.
It's cool as fuck. This is obviously, I've told this story a million times, but the only kind of really spooky thing that went on in the house was this kind of
Your dad telling you that ghosts were real and they were going to come and get you.
Yeah, the ghosts were interdimensional beings and not to be worried about them and go to bed, you fucking idiot.
That's
Probably
smart though, that if he knew his son, he knew what would work.
Yeah.
You
He
know.
knew that by overloading me with something I could
but also, that's not even overloading, that's just he gave you an explanation so
Yeah.
you wouldn't need to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, he did stress the fact that because they were from a different dimension,
Yes.
they couldn't hurt
Yeah,
you.
but that's what I mean.
Yeah,
is-
yeah. It's like, I know my son's a mental. Nobody did, unfortunately. As much as we tried to find
Good urination.
prostitutes in the Aberfoyle area.
So Martin.
Yes, you do, Mick.
Shadow people. So the idea is that there are many people who have had similar experiences.
Okay.
Where, especially as children, but even as adults, where they see an indistinct figure. Now, when I saw them when I was a kid,
Do you consider what you saw to be shadow people?
Martin says, do you consider what you saw to be shadow
I
people?
think that's what people are seeing.
Right.
Right. But I'm not saying that it's an objective thing. You
What
know,
is-
like that. I'm just saying that it's a common.
Did you just say you're going to go and squeeze one out?
I said I'm going to sweat.
It's a common experience.
Oh.
But what my experience of it was that I used to wake up, and this was after. If anyone has read my story Bedtime, this was after this.
Available on Amazon.
Yeah, I went to what they saying.
Yeah, get laid at the stag do.
I went and got. I moved into a different room in the house after all of that, and I used to wake up, and there would be this figure standing at the edge of my bed, and it was
normally your dad.
Yeah, no, but it was huge, right? It was
Right.
like it was. I honestly I can describe it as like Arnie, right?
Right,
It was,
right.
but it
Like
was,
like Rawhead Rex.
it was yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was completely absent of light or any features, but
subtraction
it was
from-
3-dimensional,
Right.
right? And I used to wake
It's
up
the opposite of a
and
stick.
sometimes it would sit on the end of my bed, and I would feel it. I'd feel the bed go down. Again, that's just my experience of it, but that's what I would feel. It would sit at the end of my bed, and the weird thing is,
Dixon, hey.
Hello, Dixon, how you doing, mate? But the
Jamie.
That's so obscure.
The thing about it, the thing that was strange about it is that as a child, I had this implicit understanding that it was a protective thing.
Maybe you were imagining a big Arnie sort of
space
marine badass at the end of your bed.
I think in my head, whatever experience I had in that other room that's based on bedtime, I felt as if this thing was coming into this room and protecting me from that. Right? So, fast forward anyway.
It was a mother's love,
right?
mate.
There are a lot of people who have had similar experiences, right? Now here's the bizarre thing, it runs in my family. My dad saw it, my brother saw it.
Maybe it was Future Guy from Enterprise.
Yes, it definitely was. So I think there's probably some biological thing that's passed on. So it's something that is common within different families where they're having some sort of hallucination, something similar to sleep paralysis, because it would normally occur. Yeah. But here's the weird thing.
Did you ever speak to him about that prior to it happening?
But I saw it. No, not prior to it, but afterwards. It's actually only recently that I've discovered that my dad would see it.
Yeah.
Because remember I told you the story about how...
Would he see the big guy?
He would see a figure.
Right.
But you remember I told you the story of... We did this on the live stream. I told you the story where he was in hospital, remember?
Yeah.
And he kept complaining to the nurses. He was a wee boy and he spent 7 years in hospital because of polio. And he would always complain. Mearns Kirk was the place that he stayed in, and he would always complain that he was seeing this figure come to the end of his bed.
Okay.
But then he started complaining about seeing eyes. Do you not remember me telling you this?
I vaguely remember something.
So he kept saying to the nurses, "But now I can see it staring at me. I can see it staring at me." And then it turned out a guy get caught who was staring.
Is this? Oh no, that's someone else wrote that. You know that story Lightning that you narrated?
Someone else. Yeah. But but anyways, but he was seeing figures before that, so that was a real guy that was actually seen. He was mixed up with experience. But loads of people have experienced that same thing. So it seems to be a common experience. But bizarrely, I know one of my friends.
I guess in some respects it's similar to that motion that I took to be someone moving.
But that's what I was going to say to you. But that's what I was going to say to you. The whole thing is that with the whole idea of shadow people is that a lot of people have claimed as adults that they've seen them and it's out the corner of your eye. But occasionally people claim that they catch them off guard,
right? And
they actually see them, and sometimes they'll stand. And the whole idea that a lot of people have from it is they have the feeling that they're watching for some reason, but not necessarily.
The Nightmare is a documentary where filmmakers interview subjects who suffer from sleep paralysis. Apparently, a common result of sleep paralysis.
It's definitely connected. But there are people who have been completely away. There's a great description of someone sitting at a computer and turning around and seeing one just looking at them. But they ended up connecting that to infrasound. What they said,
totally calmed down. but Mick says these things often run in families. Maybe it's a genetic thing. Jack Reaper says like mental illness.
Yeah. But Jack Reaper's a cock. But anyway, so we love you really. But that's what I said to you. I think it probably is a hereditary thing.
Yeah.
Where people like madness.
Here's a question: do you sleep better in a more modern house? Right. Obviously, this flat is 2003. Your house that you live in now is more modern than
way more
yours.
modern than the one, because that one goes back I think to the 20s.
I mean, this place is totally sterile in terms of like not in character. Okay, architecturally it's a bit interesting, but like there's no history to this or anything. You don't feel. But I'm not particularly susceptible to this anymore.
I think there is something in that. But the house that I grew up in and my family are still there. I absolutely love that house. I've always loved it. I love the street. I love the area. I love that house, but it's always creeped me out.
Part of me thinks the fact that all these things like the stickman phenomenon and shadow people, part of the fact that they're always very vague, they always by definition lack features.
Well, they are made of shadow.
Yeah. So all these things lack features.
I'm going to use the toilet.
That's fine.
Sorry. No.
No.
Stop being so pressy, man.
I'm listening.
So the fact that they lack detail makes them a very broad church. So you could probably lump quite a broad range of experiences within that. So there's probably a lot of people who think they're experiencing the same thing. They're experiencing completely different things.
Possibly.
There could be a lot of them probably hallucination, but if it was so specific, right? If it was everyone was seeing like a guy with a spike coming out the left side of his head and a claw on that was the right side of my head, but and an eye patch, and if everyone was seeing something really specific like that, then I would be freaked out. But the fact that everyone is seeing a dark shadow, just makes me think, well, that's such an archetypal basic thing. That's like almost a building block upon which you would pile more and more detail. There's such a lack of detail there that it's not surprising that there's a lot of people going to claim they've seen the same thing. It's like saying that, well, I was out one night and I saw a light in the sky. Well, we've all seen a light in the sky. There's many things that would cause a light in the sky.
But I think the interesting thing is I'm sceptical about these things, even though I experienced them myself. And that's why I was saying earlier on, seeing is not believing. That's something I always say to people, because very good. That was the door. You can experience something. Your experience is not necessarily reflective of objective reality. But what I will say is this: as skeptical as I am of these things, when the experience is so profound, it should give you pause. To at least question and at least say,
we shouldn't become totally entrenched in one way of thinking because there might be gaps in that.
Yeah, but you're right. Tits are good.
Well, we put up with you, Carl.
Oh mate, listen. Shit. Now wait a minute. Right, his glasses do that all the time.
Not these ones.
Do that?
Were they the ones you spent 700 quid on, Carl?
Can I just tell you something though? He did that.
No, I didn't.
You did.
They
I pushed your
dropped.
head down.
I think we should let the viewers at home decide.
They don't stay particularly well in my head.
Why not?
Because you slapped them up. They're supposed to have a little hooks behind his ears, and you
back in easily. You get a headache if you just have the one lens.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. You alright?
Oh,
you
Jesus
okay?
Christ.
Listen, this has been great, guys, but I think I'm going to have to head home.
It's like, I better leave after a gallon
before money starts getting talked about.
And it's been lovely having all of you here for the live stream once again. We're very blessed that we have a good group of you that always turn up.
Yeah.
Get interesting. Next time, I'm working on a game for the live streams. Any of you that watched the first couple of ones we did, I would always try and come up with a game. And I know Callum and
it's been a while,
as well. But I've got this game which is going to be taking these guys to a haunted house. Hopefully it'll work out well for one of the live streams. Hopefully for the next one I'll have that done. And
Jack makes an interesting point about
I wish I could fucking read it.
300 years ago electricity would have been considered sorcery, and
it is, Jack! It is sorcery!
Can I just say apologies that we didn't have the giveaway. We've got rather carried away with tonight, but we're talking about still having a giveaway on the Facebook page.
Quickly
we'll do it on the Facebook page.
Does everybody here have Facebook and have us?
Yeah, but we'll tell the YouTube guys that we're doing it anyway.
Yeah, but add us on Facebook anyway if you've got Facebook.
Yeah,
just
I think
add us.
We went over this last time. Some of you guys didn't have Facebook. For those of you that don't, we'll put an announcement on the YouTube. We're going to do like a big giveaway, even bigger than we've done before. I've bought all the shit.
I know.
I'll give you guys a sneaky peek. But we're going to go through some of the shit that's involved in it. Right? Here's a start, right? Gallowalkers, the first movie. Oh, actually, this movie was a number of years in the making. It was delayed for a long time because Wesley Snipes got done for tax evasions, and they couldn't release it, so they waited until he was released from prison. Right? Second, Voodoo Possession, starring Dranny Trejo.
Tranny Trejo.
Yeah, for a start. So that's going to be another classic. And we've actually got a Blu-ray there for whoever's actually has Blu-ray.
And a Betamax for anyone.
I believe Internet Ghost already added us. But yeah, we will. There's going to be more than this and a special giveaway, and we'll announce it later on.
We could also, for anyone who doesn't have Facebook, we could also
just tell you to get Facebook and
MySpace.
We've got a
LiveJournal.
We've got a mailing list.
That's right.
So we'll add that into
if you like spam.
We'll add that into the description of the video. No, we don't spam at all. But when we put up a worthwhile video and promote my stories and selfishly, and anything else we're working on, we'll send it out to the mailing list, which is quite a good way to do it. And we've got some I'm putting up some stories that aren't going to appear anywhere else on the mailing list soon as well.
Alright.
So it might be an idea for people. We'll put a link down below is what I'm saying. I can't find my words, Callum. I can't find my words.
I can't find my other lens, so I'm having to squint.
You threw it down there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't help him, man.
Thank you very much, everyone. And does anyone else have anything else to add?
No, just thanks very much for joining us. As always, we've had a pretty good turnout, and I think we've all had a pretty good time.
It's splendid.
And
thank you to Callum for setting all this up, because he does a grand job. He hooks us all up with the technology.
It's just the internet and computers.
Forgets the camera.
But
I was getting
that's why we're shooting on potatoes.
We've been talking for a while that we're going to end up making these bigger and better, and we'll get to that point after we've got another short that we're working on at the moment for a competition, and after Mike's wedding we're gonna crank shit back up again, because we've been a little bit lackadaisical with stuff recently, as Jackie Boy pointed out.
There should be some narrations coming as well. Don't know if you've been working any. I've been working on a couple.
I've done one actually for Mick.
Right.
He's done the music for it, and I've just been too busy / too lazy to sit down and put it together with some nice pictures and put it all in a nice video and put it up on YouTube.
Well, that'd be lovely. You get
I'll come to that.
That's good.
It won't be long, I promise. I'm sorry, Mick.
Anyway, guys, thanks very much for joining us, and as always, massively appreciate it, and we'll give you a shout about that giveaway, because I think there's going to be some fucking treasure in it. Depending on your
nothing
point
as
of
good
view.
as Plughead Rewired, but
no, or the Mummy 2. Oh, that was right in the year.
You just gave him an ear.
Reasons to get.
Kenneth Williams.
We'll try. I will get I'll get a picture of that scythe as well and show you guys just so that it wasn't a story made up. Anyway. Gentlemen and ladies, have a good sleep. If you can, after the spookiness done, Michael's gonna
I've got to walk home now.
Michael's gonna black up and stand at the end of your bed like a shadow person.
Can I just say, apart from everything that's been said tonight, we're not racist or transphobic or anything like that from all the.
Oh yeah.
Well, Martin is, but that is not the point.
Yeah.
No.
Just Callum.
It's all
death to the West. Good night, everybody.
On that bombshell. Good night.